corner while you silent around your folks. Surviving lies, you can't bury what I lived through. You televise my pain, but hid the things you did too. You pointed at a monster just to cover all your crimes. Surviving one man was a start. Surviving lies, you change the times. Surviving lies, yeah, I'm staring in your eyes. You look straight into the truth while you dressed it in disguise. You wanna write my story, you forgot I hold the pen. Surviving one was yours beginning. Surviving lies. They wrote headlines like they holy scripture, crop the frame till it fit the picture, pulled that curtain, told us what to see, but we were in the crowd. We remember every scene. They spit stories till the spin get dizzy, call it justice. When the math look iffy, try to paint them as a ghost, as a sin, but the songs cut deep. They lived in our skin. Yeah. You can't cage faith in a pub on fire, can't kill truth with a crooked smile. We were there, we were more than a few. We ain't moved when they told us to. The king of R&B will return. Say it loud, let the whole world learn. On the scandal, all the lies they true. We remember what we know is true. They try to take his crown, make us fall, but the fans stay firing the cold. Dream of time gonna stand tall for the goal. We know, we on the right side of history. Yeah. They want us fractured, blind and distracted, arguing the comments, never see the tactics, set it up clips till the cut look clean and feet feel like a broken machine. But I see her in a man's two eyes, I seen grace in the stage goodbye, saw the flaws, saw the flaws, and we still saw hard. You can't fake that part, you can't fake that part, no. We manifest freedom every chant, every tweet, every late night prayer when we barely sleep. You can block one account, can't block what we feel. You can smell one name, can't cancel what's real. The king of R&B will return. Say it loud, let the whole world learn. All the scandal, all the lies they drew. We remember what we know is true. They try to take his crown, make us fall, but the fans stay firing the goal. 319 gonna stand tall for the goal. We know, we on the right side of history. Yeah. It look janky from the outside, baby, but the faith in this side far from lazy. We the ones that they label extreme, cause we ain't trade truth for a trending meme. So like guns on your late night jokes, we the lifeline. And the song he wrote, every stream is a seed we sow. If you know, then you know. If you know, then you know. Hey, king of R&B will return. Say it loud, let the whole world learn. All the scandal, all the lies they drew. We remember what we know is true. They try to take his crown, make us fall, but the fans stay firing the cold. We were not gonna stand tall for the goal, 'cause we know, we on the right side of history. Yeah. We saw him paint that crooked picture, turn your name into a headline curse. Every channel, every whisper, trying to make the story worse. But I remember every melody, how it healed my heart this year. They can't rewrite what you gave us. We still right here, we still standing for the king. Oh, we won't move, you can lock you in a cage. But your truth still proves all the lies on the screen. They can touch what we say. Realize, see the way we still standing for the king. Yeah, I'm live, Larry, I'm live. I'm just waiting on some people to slide through and we're going to get this show on the road. When you drop in, make sure you hit that free R. Kelly in the chat. Make sure you thumbs up this live. And don't forget to spin back and hype this video up. Break you, the pressure make us fall. Prima donna still unshaken. Hearts 10 times gold, we still standing for the king. Oh, we won't move, you can lock you in a cage. But your truth still proves all the eyes on the screen. They can touch what we sing. Realize, see the way we still standing for the king. Through the storm, through the sting. Realize, see through everything. They got money, they got power, they got cameras in every room. But they never own the heartbeat that's been marching to your tune. Jackie's talking in the shadows, trying to shake what we believe. But our faith don't fear the fire. We know you'll be released. Still standing for the king. We won't move, you can lock you in a cage. But your truth still proves all the lies on the screen. They can touch what we sing. Realize, see the way we still standing for the king. On that day when you return, hear the whole world ring. Realize, see through everything. Prima donna never fall. Heart of steel, soul of gold. Till the day you walk back through. We stand tall, we stand for you. So, I see your question, and as far as Mr. McGee, when he was talking about the storage and all that, the primary focus in me repeatedly airing that clip was, again, that was some red flags. Because if y'all recall, going back to the state case, one of my main talking points was about how so-called evidence was being dispersed from person to person, how specific attorneys could go on platforms talking about they've shown this tape to anchors. These attorneys could meet up with prosecutors and strategize how they was going to structure these charges. And then when we saw these people coming on these YouTube streets volunteering so much information, it don't take a genius to recognize that I saw these one-sided investigations being carried out. And my whole point was, I feel like a second look is desperately needed with some fresh eyes, especially on all these people that put all this information out here, wanted to collude with these so-called bad act witnesses, and then want to act real slow when it comes to why, when they go into court and want to be Jane Doe's, why
some of us can pinpoint majority of those witnesses without even having to have went to any of the trial proceedings. Don't you think that's a little odd? That I could sit here and everybody knows I didn't go to not one court proceeding. And I could pretty much tell you majority of all those bad act witnesses. I can revisit clips where people like Larry was volunteering shit like he got the assistants, the bus drivers, the parents at his house, the storage, how they got people to lie. And then when we get these motions come into play and we talk about the coercion, and then you got the government over here acting brand new, like just because a lot of the coercion came through third party avenues, who's still liable? Who was sitting out here watching all this janky shit when you got the investigator from Homeland Security all over here picking certain things, choosing at their discretion what they're going to prosecute while giving the public the impression that they wanted to prosecute the enablers, or should I say the enterprise. Shit getting real. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over and we're going to watch Dana read the motion, because that's another issue I have with people feeling like just because I'm not going to personally get up here and read it to you, even though I provide the paperwork in many different ways, I send out the paperwork, and I would expect the people that really want to know, either you want me to send you the paperwork so you can read it, you go out and get the paperwork yourself. But what you ain't going to do is try to discredit the perception that I have being able to look at the paperwork, look at what's going on these platforms, look at where all of these stories originated from, and tell you why I don't believe this shit, while people all these years wanted to run with everything that the prosecutors were putting out here as though it were facts. They always want to offer this is how it's going to go according to how the prosecution laid their case. But when it came to the reasonable doubt, that is where people like me came to play. Because I wasn't here to try to force nobody to believe nothing. I wasn't here to try to brainwash nobody to go along, to get along with nothing that I perceived from what we all saw. And I damn sure don't work for none of these people who want you to come out here and tell them everything so they can get on their platforms and then rework the things you say like this ain't that, boo. This ain't been that. So yeah, we finna go to Dana J's live. We're gonna let him read the paperwork to you. And then I'm gonna come back and spin the block as to why, when people have came to my comment section talking about this new audio pertaining to Nicole Becker, why again I have to side-eye people. Because when I was talking about the fact that this man had an ineffective counsel, nobody was trying to hear me. Y'all wanted to keep running to all these people with their bullshit ass stories, and that's y'all prerogative. What's up, Kip? Hello. Can you hear me? But yeah, y'all wanted
What
to
up,
run to
Prima?
all. How
With
you
Dana
doing?
on here too. What up, Dana?
I don't think he
Chilling.
on her yet. I don't think he on her yet. Hold on.
Nothing, just chilling, bro.
Hold on.
Hello?
Let me make sure he got the link. But I don't
Hello?
think I was able. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I don't think I sent Dana the link. He ain't popped on yet, but I don't
Oh,
think I
okay.
was able to touch bases with you to let you know that Bo Brentley did put in his motion, right?
Uh-huh.
And now there's a in-person hearing that's coming up on the 8th of April.
Uh-huh.
So what's going on now is people are bringing back Nicole and how there was supposed to be a inappropriate relationship going on and all kind of other shit.
Who, Nicole Blank?
Right,
Yeah, it was. Everybody, that's not, news that don't nobody know. The public know that already. Because
right.
I think she made it be known, or somebody close to them leaked that or whatever.
Right.
And
But the irony is that it's coming to the forefront now, but all these years, like even when he had his conflict of interest hearing, that was
yeah,
one of my main red flags there as to why I can't say why he continued to work with her after being told of the conflicts, but all the shit that's coming out now is a little crazy to me.
right, yeah. So, but you know what though? Um, that was knowledge when he was going through that conflict of interest hearing situation. They knew all that the whole time.
Right. Right.
They knew that the
So,
whole time.
right. So I'm glad you popped in because I want some I guess the better frame is you were around him the most during a lot of this time period.
Yeah, from 94 to 2004.
So when it comes to a lot of these allegations and how I feel like, me personally, I don't feel like they properly vetted anything for his defense,
Nope.
right? When we
You know,
go back and talk about this Nicole shit, like why is it unclear that people don't understand why I'm saying I don't feel like he had adequate representation?
no, never have to me. Never have. Even with that guy let him go on that with Gail King that time. They should have never had
Exactly.
him in front of the camera. I don't even know who the hell that guy was.
Exactly. And even at that time, they were talking about he went on that show because he was supposed to get paid. The money from that he never even got. So his attorney Greenberg acted like he wasn't even there, even though it's proof he was there.
Oh yeah.
And on top of that, the damn crisis manager get caught up in trying to allegedly bribe a clerk, which they just swept under the rug.
It's all kind of stuff. I just think that they're not going to do anything, man. They don't. They're gonna keep doing what they're doing and keep denying the motions and keep denying everything until he get tired and give up and just accept his time.
Right.
I just don't see him. I don't me personally, and I hate to be a whisperer. I just don't see him coming home. I really I don't. I'm just
Do you
being
think
real.
there's a reason why they changed it from being a telephone hearing to an in-person hearing?
Um, sometimes it's up to the judge. The conflict. It can be a conflict of scheduling or logistics or whatever the case may be. Um, sometimes the prosecutor may want that. The judge may want it, or even the defense can say request it. Um, to be to have a court hearing than to be in court than as opposed to being there video it holds more weight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Holds a little bit more weight. So I don't know why that changed like that, but I'm just being a realist.
Right.
Just ain't that nobody giving up or whatever, but you when you reach the statutory limitation of all emotions and appeals and stuff, the pretty ain't nothing much for you to do. I mean, you wasted all this time spending your wheels in the mud with all this bad representation and people, different people, that's not in your best interest on your behalf. After that, I mean, what else you could do? All the damn appeals are gone. He appealed out.
Right. So that's why I feel like personally this was intentional. They deliberately ran that man time out. So where now his windows are closing.
Yeah. And so once that's over with, I mean, appeal after appeal after keeps getting denied and You once you appeal something once a certain amount of times, you can't appeal it no more. You
Right.
know, all just bad representation. I just look at it, bad representation and lack of financial resources. I mean, like you look at Bill Cosby, you look at the disparity in cases that uh, was stacked against him. He had like what 99 accusers,
Right.
and he had it was not that it was provable, but he had 99 people come out. And he went to court. He got his time. He appealed it, and because of the financial resources he had and the legal team that he had, Bill Cosby a free man right now.
Right.
You look at this whole whole situation with dude is like it's just a tsunami of circumstantial, janky ass evidence, tainted witnesses, just the whole 9 yards. Bad representation, no lack of financial resources, and that's what That's why he is where he is today. And I just ain't to nobody giving up on him or not like that, but reality is reality in this legal system.
Right.
If they want you there, you're gonna be there.
Right.
You know. People keep asking all these different questions. I mean, it don't matter whether or not Susan Loggins and Daryl McDavid went to college together and all of this stuff, and that shit don't matter, man. It comes down to one thing: what you can prove, what you can't prove, and your financial resources. I mean, like your legal team, everything is based on your legal team.
That's factual. Like we could sit here and pick together all day all the connections between these characters. At
Right?
the end of the day, we talking about the defense and the lack thereof that was
Yep.
put forth, and the fact that this man's running out of options. And these people playing the games on this internet starting to piss me off now that they want to backtrack and act like they didn't know this and they didn't know that, and they don't know why everybody's so confused because y'all motherfucking ass been on this internet playing for 7 fucking years.
Yep.
That's why.
Who's this? Cha Cha 414. Have you ever been contacted? That's right now. Yeah, that's public knowledge. You know that I wasn't contacted to testify. The feds came subpoenaed me to testify before the grand jury, but that after questioning, they wasn't able to use me. My name, 7 years. You never seen my name in no paperwork. You never seen me take the stand in any case in Chicago or New York. I don't have nothing to do with that. Most
See,
of this new stuff, all these new people and new characters, I never seen these people in my life. They never were around. They were pre, post my service with that whole situation.
so to elaborate on that, when you're going through a trial proceeding, can anybody just put themselves on the stand for your behalf, or does somebody subpoena you or put you on the witness list? Like you don't put yourself on the damn stand.
No,
So that'd be another frustration when people inquire about you not testifying for R. Kelly and you skip past the janky ass PI that was on here playing the motherfucking games.
hey, yeah, that's true. So in court proceedings, when you go through a trial like this, the prosecution they call and subpoena their witnesses to be deposed to see if they can use you. Um, and in the defense, if they feel like they want to put a witness up, they can put witnesses up. The reason why nobody ever contacted me, I told you, the Yankee ass representation.
Right,
So I don't know. Let's and talk to you.
right. That's the fact.
Because she had said I've been not with the Fed. I'm asking in defense. No, his defense never. They contacted me one time, and asked me did I want to hire me as a private investigator to do something. I say that's number one. That's dumb as shit. Why would they contact me to do that? That's a conflict of interest because I worked for Duke for 10 years. Why the
Right.
fuck? Why the fuck would I? That's the biggest conflict of interest you ever seen in your life.
Right.
That's like
And
that's like
let's
that's
not
like
skip the fact that a lot of these super fans was out here running with the narrative he was testifying against R. Kelly. So they couldn't
right.
even figure that
Look at
shit
that
the fuck out.
exactly. Exactly. They saying that right, but you know that all you gotta do is something called a FOIA request.
Right,
It's a FOIA request and public information. You get on any type of federal case, state case, anything. Right? It's a
right,
Public Information Act. You can subpoena every record or request every record from the start of this, from 2008 all the way up until present date. You're not gonna see my fucking name nowhere.
right.
I've never stepped foot in a room in a courtroom or anything. So, like I said, the internet is undefeated. These they're the stupidest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, I said that. Um, it's just it is what it is. You know, all I'm concerned with when I talk open my mouth is what's true,
Right,
what's not true, and facts. That's all I'm interested in. I'm not interested in nothing else. Whether somebody knew somebody or this and that, the connection with this, the connection with that, you know, um, that's just my take on it, and that's just it.
right.
You
Oh,
know,
you good, Miss Cha Cha. That's our point. He could have been a character witness, but the people was on here playing and they weren't trying to get no real character witness. As you
right?
saw, it was cool them doing their
Okay.
interviews, had no problems with their interviews. But my objective point of view was okay, so who y'all gonna get to testify for him? And when we
Right,
saw it wasn't but 5 fucking people that couldn't contribute to shit, it don't
right,
take a genius to recognize why I look at these people crazy as hell.
right. And not only that, it's like this. So when they put up witnesses, they ask, is this witness acceptable to the prosecution? They can say no. They can fight that. They can fight the witnesses. Just
Right,
like the defense can do the same thing when they prosecution bring up a witness. Um, is this witness acceptable to the to the defense? And they can say no each way. Each party can say no, especially when they picking a same thing with a jury.
right,
They do the same thing. I mean, if I mean, and character witnesses that you don't have to testify all the time to be a character witness. You can write a statement.
right,
I've done that for somebody in my family. Wrote a character witness statement, and they just read the statement at the hearing. You don't have to physically be there.
right.
Yeah,
What's up, Dana?
Dana, what up, boy?
What's going on, man? I was asleep until somebody, I think this lady T hit me
Boy,
like 12 times, talking about some kip on there. Where? Like, wait a minute, where? What's going on?
what up, Dana?
You know I pop
What's
out
going
late.
on, Kip?
Ain't nothing. Just popping out. Just got finished playing some cards and just sitting around, just chilling. And
Man,
Prima hit me and told me to jump on real quick. I said, man, call that nigga Dana.
man,
Yeah.
I'm going to touch on something real quick, right? Because for the people that don't listen, I'm just going to touch on something. They didn't want nobody as character witnesses because, and when Canic asked, because Canic said, yo, and we're going to have to bring some firepower. We all was sitting at the table. I said, I got everybody number, but you won't. We can sit right here and I call everybody. Sean Harris said, nah, we got it. And Keith just looked at the ground. At that point, I said, fuck it, because I already know what's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
So just to let folks know, and when Sean was calling around to get, and when Sean was calling around and to get interviews and stuff and with people, but that's all he was doing was trying to get information to other run back to Kales and let Robert know, like, this is what I found out, this is what I was doing. And the whole time it was interviews from other people.
Mm-hmm.
If you think I'm lying, go back to when he wanted to do an interview with me. And when I counseled, he tried to flip the script and was like, oh, I'm going to let him know that you don't want to speak highly of him. I said, tell him. Because when he look at it and see the whole thing, it's going to be, I'm not giving you no information.
Right.
Yeah. So this guy, who's Be the Light 222, said Daryl Johnson has been around since the early '90s. He was involved with the studio in Maywood, Illinois, for
Daryl
when this.
Johnson has not been around since
Who's
the early
hold
90s.
on? I'm going to ask the $1 million question. Who the fuck is Daryl Johnson? I never heard of him. Never seen him. Ever heard of him.
That's the
Daryl
crisis manager that
Daryl
was on the
Johnson has
Yes,
girl
that's
not.
not
group.
who. But so let me ask this person. Be the Light 222. How do you know for a fact that he was running around since the '90s? How do you know that?
She don't know that.
She don't, right? So stop typing shit and you don't know what the fuck is going on. It's not facts. That's what I'm talking about. Nobody knew who the fuck this crisis manager was until he appeared on fucking TV.
Daryl Johnson only been around
Okay,
since.
hold up, stop, hold up. Yeah, yes, he was. I know this for a fact. Okay, well, we'll state the fact then. Stop saying you know it. Who is it?
Okay, I'm gonna shut up and listen to
No,
this.
no, hold up. Let me give you a prime example of why this dumb shit, this internet dumb shit, people talk. Be the Light 222. Please explain factually how you know this guy Daryl Johnson was there.
I know what date Daryl Johnson came in. I know what day he came in. I know
No,
what time he came in.
hold on, Dana. Hold on, Dana. Let her answer the question. This is
Yeah,
this you do to motherfucker. You ask him factually, just like you saying he been around. Okay, we'll put your proof put the proof right there. Say how you know he was there factually.
you can come up here, Miss Battle. The link is in the chat because this is
Nah.
something she's asked me, and it's something that
Listen,
I can
this
confirm.
is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I just asked 3 different times. She says, yes, he was. I know for a fact. I'll say, tell me how you know for a fact. That's not true. I'm from the west side of Chicago. Okay. 1 million motherfuckers is from the west side of Chicago that I know of. Everybody from the west side of Chicago, from out west. Answer the question. How do you know factually he was there in the early 90s? When I'm telling you this person wasn't. And you ask me how I know he wasn't? Because I was there. So I'm telling you factually, I was there. Factually, I've never heard or seen this motherfucker before. You're saying you know for a fact. Prove that otherwise. Put it in the chat. See, this is what I'm telling you about. Nobody can come up. I've asked 25 times and there's still no answer. See, this is the stuff that I'm telling you about, Prima.
Right. I mean, I've heard this before. She's told me this before, but again, when they ask me about certain people, I can't confirm that because I don't.
But you got somebody who can't. But you got somebody who can.
Right.
Again, I'm gonna say this. I know for a
Kip
fact.
was around. Kip was around 94.
Stop. See where it says you was around from 2004 to 2014. Did you just hear me in the beginning? That's not accurate. See, people just spitting shit, spewing shit. She need to block her ass, please. I was from 1994 to 2004. Block her ass, please. Whoever she is. This is the dumb shit I'm talking about. This expose people ass tonight. Get in this chat and start talking shit. You getting exposed tonight.
1994 to
2004. How the fuck you get 2004 to 2014? That's what I meant.
Blackie was around from 2004 to 2014.
Yeah.
So that's why I said I can tell you time frame.
Listen, well, okay. So if you confirming that what I said, then tell me how you know that man was there. You still haven't said it. I mean, we waiting.
Daryl Johnson. Well, I'm sure I ain't gonna tell him.
People calling and wanting to voice their opinion because she's not voicing an opinion. She's stating facts. First of all, whoever Larry Hawkins is, and it's never no disrespect. When you get exposed, you come in here. We speak truth here. We speak the truth and we speak facts. That's all we're interested in. We ain't interested in nothing else.
I'm about to go get my Doritos. I'm up now.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm about to make me some
I mean,
nachos.
you're not blocked. He's waiting on you to answer the
I'm waiting on
question
you. That's
as
what I said.
far as
We're waiting you to answer on the question. You said something. Stand on it. That's all I'm waiting for. It's simple.
So, so
and
why
that's
are we
another
waiting on
thing.
that?
Let me also bring in there. I don't feel like he's attacking. I feel like he's clarifying because again, when people come in the chat, they say things and y'all can have y'all opinions, but it's time out for all this opinions and shit. We trying to get away from all the shit that's been going around over and over, stuff that can't be verified, stuff that he can clearly verify, tell you yes or no. We ain't beating around the bush with this shit. Fuck all that. That's where
Wait a
we at.
minute. Since we on that topic, let's go there. Since the early 90s, right?
Yep.
Well, but I mean, since Miss Battle was in the chat, and I said it once, and nobody wanted to believe me. But I'm gonna say this: Robert never had a nest of girls that he went and recruited. And I'll say that. And a lot of people be thinking like, "Oh, well, Robert been in Chicago the whole time." No, Robert was living in Florida.
Thank you.
So when Robert was in
wasn't
Florida,
even in fucking Chicago.
right? He didn't even care about Chicago, honestly.
No, as a matter of fact, we shot that video. The storm is over at the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Denver. When we was done, we got on the bus. Dude was like, "I'm not going back to that motherfucker." We told Al, "Man, drive head south. We ain't know where the fuck we was going. We just headed south, and that's where we landed at." Finished the rest of TP2.com and went on tour right from there. Went on a world tour right from there. Never even went back. Only time we went back to Chicago went to the Chicago date for the tour. And we didn't even stay in Chicago. We came from Minnesota right to the building, ran on stage, did the show, ran off stage, got on the bus, and got the fuck up out of Chicago. You know? It's like, I don't know. It's just like I said, like even the people that come in the chat, there ain't no disrespect to them. But when you come into a platform and you asking a question, that's one thing. But when you stating your opinion and then you claiming that your opinion is fact, and somebody asks you to prove it, how is that disrespect?
Right, because my opinion has always been Daryl Johnson said he didn't work for R. Kelly, period. He worked for Greenberg. So if he hypothetically, if he knew somebody from R. Kelly camp way back then, that don't necessarily mean he knew R. Kelly. Like that'd be the shit I'd be talking about.
Or that he was even around. So let me ask you a question. When and I ask you, Dana, when did Greenberg first meet Dude?
May the 4th, 2018.
So 2018. How the fuck can he know anything about Dude back in 1994?
Daryl Johnson came in September the 16th at 10:30 p.m. September the 16th at 10:30 p.m. 2018. 2019. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and don't think I have to link. If she want to come in and talk about it, just click on the link and come in. We got a conversation. It's no disrespect. It's just like when people talk, when you talk in any type of form, or you speaking in the public or speaking at a hearing anywhere, you speak your truth and you speak it factually. If it's not factual, keep it to yourself. If you don't know, you don't know. It's no harm in that. But I mean, nobody's gaining anything by putting all this information. And then when you say something like that, people run with that on this internet. And that's why Dude in the situation he in, because of all the Yankee motherfuckers that did something like that. Right. This is the first time I've seen a person prosecuted by the fucking internet. The feds got all their fucking evidence and got everything off the fucking internet.
No, Kip, I'm gonna tell you this.
From a bunch of people that have inserted themselves in his business. People that the whole 9 yards, from the Don Russells to all these motherfuckers, all the feds got to do is sit and look at the fucking internet. And they showed me that when I sat down and talked to them. When they opened that big ass book, when I opened the book, you know who the first picture they showed me? You know, Prim, you know the first picture they showed me?
The social media influencer.
Yeah, this dumbass nigga Dana. I said, Dana? I said, that Dana? I said, that's Dana. They said, you know him? I said, yeah. I said, that's Dana. I said, that nigga from Baltimore. He from the crib. What he got to do with this? She's like, oh no, we know he know this and he know that. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. I was like, whatever. That's when I knew. I was like, it's bullshit.
Right.
Like somebody close and near to me, dear to me. Just before I went, she told me, go there and speak your truth. And that's what I did. I spoke my truth, and you know, that was it. You ain't never heard my name since then. You know, so
No wake up. I suppose to been testifying against Rob too.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody named people what's been called.
And somehow I'm an informant, even though everybody know good and goddamn well I don't know the man. How the fuck I'm gonna be a fucking informant? Like, make this shit the fuck make sense.
People just don't. They watch too much. They live their whole life. I call them keyboard warriors. They live their whole life on this internet. Their life revolves around the internet. You know, this shit ain't fucking real. It's crazy. You gotta remember, I was around doing this shit before social media even fucking started.
That part.
You know.
And before social media.
To be honest, I kind of wish Miss Battle do hit the link, because like I said, some of the stuff that has been brought to me, like I said, you know, I'm 10 toes down. Just because that don't mean it got shit to do with R. Kelly. I don't know what they doing, he doing, she doing, they doing. It don't mean it got shit to do with R. Kelly. That's all I be saying.
It's a backstory to this, though.
Yeah, Lil Mac 339-16. Prima got questions. What's your take on people defending Tim Savage when we all know Gerald Griggs, the lawyer, said we had to change the narrative? Well, I don't have no take on nothing or no opinion on nobody that I don't know that came after me. I don't know who Tim Savage is. Never met him. I don't know Gerald Griggs. I don't know never. So I'm not gonna comment on no shit that I don't know about. That's all people gotta do, and they gotta say. Ain't no harm, no foul in that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna comment for me. Fuck them and fuck Tim too. How about that?
With
all them.
With a sandpaper dildo.
Well, I'm going to cut on the black. Wait a minute. I want motherfuckers to see this when I say this. I arose from the grave. Listen, while I'm eating my new Doritos, fuck Tim Savage. Fuck everybody that's defending him, and this week y'all gonna feel the wrath of it. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, and I'm going back into my grave.
On that. Don't resurrect like all these other motherfuckers.
Yeah. So, like, where all these people with these names and stuff, man? You hearing all these names now, man. Like, even the names that you're hearing now, that you didn't even hear nothing circulating about them in the 2008 situation.
And because they wasn't there.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So you figure that's from 2008, that's almost goddamn 20 years. I mean, you know.
Crazy. And then people talking about, oh, I known Rob, and I seen Rob violate a lid. No, the fuck you didn't.
They ain't see shit. I mean, people was. I stand on what I said. Daryl Johnson was around since the early '90s at the studio in Maywood. I'm trying to come up. Okay, so the studio in Maywood. What is she talking about?
Now, see, wait a minute. This is what I'm about to tell you. There's a backstory to this, right? And Miss Battle is trying to find her daughter, right? And she's trying to say that, or she's trying to make a connection that her daughter is missing due to R. Kelly. I done told her different times. I done told her different times where her daughter is at. Okay, so hold on.
So when was now? I'm gonna be sensitive about this because I mean, if somebody's daughter missing, I'm I gotta hear about this, get the backstory on this before I start
Right.
defending. All right,
Mhm.
so Be the Light 222, her daughter's missing.
Right.
How long has her daughter been missing?
That part I don't know.
Okay, has she
Like,
contacted local law enforcement, and have local law enforcement contacted the FBI?
Prima can't answer that.
yes, they've
She
been
has.
contacted in which
Okay.
they have told her that her daughter has communicated she doesn't want to be bothered with, but she feels like it's something deeper with that.
hmm Yeah. So the thing about it is that, if law enforcement is telling her that, then it is what it is, because they would have investigated it if that was any ties to dude or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So let's dismiss and debunk that right now. Just hopefully, whatever's keeping her and her daughter apart, or why her daughter don't want to contact her, all we can do is just pray on that situation and hope that there's some type of restoration in that relationship, so she won't be absent in her mom's life anymore. So
What's
don't look.
crazy, what's
Yeah.
crazy about that is the same person that jumped all in R. Kelly's situation, he's
Mhm.
played around with her story and incorporating it in his commentary. So that's why she's around, is because like Dana just said, she feels like it's something to do with R. Kelly, and she's connected a whole lot of people around him.
Mhm.
So that's where she at.
Yeah. So, but I can tell you right now, I know for a fact he don't have nothing to do with that. This man has been investigated by Department of Homeland Security, the freaking FBI, the Chicago Police Department. Um, yeah, I mean, the prosecutors, um, the ASA, different ASA offices, prosecution offices in two different states, in Chicago and New York. If Trust me, if there was any ties to your daughter being, linked to him regarding her missing or whatever, that would have they would have advised you of that. But I just heard you say, Prima. They told her that her daughter has been found or contacted, and she don't want to.
She's concerned because she would
Yeah.
like to see video of her daughter saying this, or some
Okay.
confirmation
I mean,
of
that's
her
that's
daughter.
fair. That's fair.
Right, right,
That's
right.
fair. But they can't do that if her daughter's an adult and don't want to do that, and she's telling them I'm
But
fine.
but but check this out. How they played with her story. Check out the Tim Savage character, is how he played all these well-being checks with his daughter. He was calling the
hmm
police, all that shit he was
hmm
doing, like he was trying to get his daughter joy.
hmm Miss
So
Bell
it,
is
it's, that's how that's yeah.
who is Joe Jenkins 7695, bro? Don't say that about her, man. Please. I mean, that's she was brainwashed by people. Yeah, I mean, when people got a family member missing, they tend to lean on anybody or any information that people give them. They going, it's easy to be brainwashed when all you care about is you trying to find your child. You
Right.
know, I mean, so but don't come at her like that, bro. You know, that's not. Yeah. That so who is McConnell 2551 fact? That what I've been saying the whole time, bro. I've been saying that like every time from the time I first was recalled. That girl was never ever alone, never left unattended, never. And you got he even know that, and I don't even know whether he know anybody close to the situation. Yeah, Liam mother said. Yeah, Miss Diane said that. Yeah, she did. Cha cha 41 4. I'm just reading people comments. Thank you. She's still ain't come. Have you tried hiring a private investigator? Yeah, and the private investigator ain't gonna do nothing for her. He ain't gonna do nothing. But if she do hire one, he ain't gonna do nothing but tell her the same thing law enforcement told her. Trust me, the law enforcement take that very, very serious. When it's a child or missing or whatever, it's two
She's an
different.
adult.
Adult, yeah,
She's
she's an
an
adult. So it's
Yeah.
like that when it's two different classifications called a sinner and a sins. A sinner is a child in need of assistance, and the second one's a sins is a child in need of supervision. Right? Um, they look at it, and if they're an adult, they don't do anything. You ain't nothing you can do about it. If they're a child, they figure out whether they're in need of assistance or supervision, or they actually tied to a crime with somebody, taking them or coercing them to, leave home or whatever the case may be. They take that very, very serious. They don't play around with that. So if you've contacted local law enforcement and they've rented up the chain, you know, or whatever, you know, I just I know you want video proof of her saying that, but if she's an adult, they don't have to provide that. She don't have to do that. You know, if law enforcement not going to just say that, pull it out their ass and just tell you that, you know, I just wish you the best in that situation. I just hope everything be okay. Just continue to pray for restoration, and just pray, you know, that you'll make contact with her one day. At least she's still here with us. At least we do that. There was too many people that was in his circle around my daughter. I'm just a mother looking for. I understand that. I agree. I said I agree with you 100%. When a
You want to
person is
know
looking for that child,
you want to know one of the people she talking about?
who's that?
One of them damn Olsen twins.
Oh man, you talking about the two sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that said
You call them the Olsen twins.
yeah, the one that said I know 100% that was R.
Oh.
Kelly on the tape.
Oh my God! You hold on. Now I can't get off that. You're not gonna give it to me like that, friend. The Olsen twins. Oh, oh
Y'all know
hell
what they
no.
look like? What
Yeah.
they should have looked like now. I don't know what the fuck
Yeah.
happened.
Hey, Prima, stop taking my jokes.
Yeah. Just yeah, I understand what you're saying, Joe. That's your opinion, man. But when a person sit like that with their child or whatever, I mean, you know, we gotta show some sensitivity and some humanity and some compassion. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you think that, like, I got a lot of opinions about a lot of things, you know, but I don't I can't speak it, you know, off my tongue because it'll cut like a double edged sword, you know.
Yeah, the twins. I could say a lot of things about them, but I always try
Yeah.
to keep it cute because people be pissing me off acting like, man, fuck them too. I mean, what is he talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Joe. I feel you, brother. But you know, what's Be the Light 222 name? What's her name?
Miss Battle.
Miss Battle. Yeah, yeah. Miss Battle. She feel a certain way. That's her child, bro. And if you had a daughter and you was in that same situation, you know, I
Of
would.
course.
And you call me cuckoo, call me crazy, whatever. My fucking kids. I don't give a fuck what you call me. But
Right.
at the same time, you understand that's that lady child, you know?
Right. And then she talking about that white lady that was walking with them. It was one of his court things. It was Joy, Azrael, and a white lady. Dawn was there.
Yeah. That I'm telling you for a fact that if that if dude was tied to that situation, or law enforcement investigated your complaint, then it's nothing. Trust me. And I don't even know about this situation. I just know for a fact, like I do know for a fact, it's been verified here that you contacted law enforcement. You told them the situation. Trust me, they investigated, especially when it's. Tell me this: when your daughter went missing or whatever, what was she a minor or was she an adult? Was she over the age of 18?
She feels like her daughter was being groomed while she was a minor, and then when she was an adult, that's when she, whatever.
Groom. So
Yeah.
so.
Uh-oh.
Oh man, so she felt like she
Mm-hmm.
was being groomed.
Mm-hmm.
She got
Kind of
yeah,
like the Deronda Pace situation when
yeah.
she talking about.
Yolanda wasn't groomed.
But you gotta understand it. You gotta give a timeline on this shit. I mean, like,
Yeah.
so right now she's I don't know how old she is right now. She had just said that she was missing for 7 years, right?
Right.
All right. So and so she's been missing since 2019.
Yep.
One dude in jail in 2019.
He went to jail.
July 11th.
Right. So how the fuck he do that? You know they was investigating him before 2019.
Well before 2019.
Yeah, exactly. So don't yeah. You got to see when you start putting timelines together and sure look at me.
And then y'all remember in court, it was a text
Yeah.
message dialogue between Azriel them or whoever, and it had mentioned her daughter's name in the text message. Or
I don't know.
that's what she thinks.
That don't. Yeah. That don't. You can. That's like. That's like the sticky bomb. If it ain't gonna like you throw it up against the wall. If it don't stick, then it ain't what it ain't. It is what it is. I don't know, but I understand what you're saying, Joe. She really believes that that man had something to do with her daughter being missing. Yep. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
sad. I mean, that's the way she feel. We
absolutely.
we have to, we know it's not true.
Oh, so here's my question
Hold on,
though.
the police know it's not true, but you can't change her mind otherwise. So I'm not gonna take that from her.
Here's my question. Well, for the question that I always have from this battle is, and with all the pedophiles in Chicago, why is it narrowed down just to R. Kelly? Is it
Yeah,
because the story is big, or is it because this is how she really feels?
yeah.
And because truth to be told, I know a lot of people that say they was in R. Kelly's circle or connected, and they wasn't. They was just around to be around.
Yeah. It's like the guy came out. These people came out and made a whole careers on the internet. Remember that guy? I just keep reverting back to him. What's his name? Will Eady. Remember him? Oh my God. I'm like, bro, how the fuck? I'm like, bro, I'm like, who are you, dude? Never seen you in my fucking life before. Like, I don't know.
He said he was around what 30 years? Did you say
Yeah.
that?
It's a lie. It's a lie.
But these the people they ran to all the motherfucking time like they doing something on this internet. Man, y'all get the fuck out my face. Fuck is
hmm
we talking about?
Where were all these motherfuckers before the fucking internet?
Right. Oh, I got a picture of R. Kelly looking
Yeah.
ass. Better get this shit the fuck up out of
Mm-mm.
here.
I don't know.
Man,
Dana, you got to come back and save this city, bro. These motherfuckers are going fucking crazy up here, bro.
is nuts up there like that?
Man, there's always been nuts in this damn city, bro.
Right.
Yeah, fucking man. I just you got to put your pistol in your front pocket. Just take your fucking trash out to the curb. That's how bad it is.
No, yeah, it didn't turn into a bad okay gun corral like that now.
Nah, it's just like just so much fucking bullshit, man. And Eraserhead ain't doing shit. You know what I'm
Well,
talking about, Brandon Scott. He
Eraser
ain't.
here stealing.
Yeah, I think his wife was or something like that. I don't know. I'm sorry, we
That
getting
nigga
off.
don't got no wife. That's a front. That nigga gay.
Nah, he got a wife. Oh, look. Do
That's a
R. Kelly
front.
hold on. Chat for 41-4. Do R. Kelly claim Will is a friend? Yeah, he does. He know him. They know each other. I mean, like, I'm not disputing that they don't know each other, but his claims like that's my brother and I've been there since goddamn born. Back when dude was singing underneath the motherfucking L. I told you how this nigga came to the first show. I think it was in 2000, 2001. The producer I'm telling you about, Dana, the one that just won the Grammy.
Speaking of that, hold on, Kip.
Hold
You
on.
ain't seen him Thursday night getting off?
Oh nah, I ain't.
That
I ain't.
nigga went for broke Thursday night playing for
I,
Tank.
Listen. So check this out. Don't. Don't give too many clues out because I don't want
Right.
his name tied to shit when it comes to this. So anyway, but what I'm saying is that he knew him and Will Eady were friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will he gave Will Eady tickets to come to the show. It was at the United Center. I remember
Mm-hmm.
this back in 2000, 26 years ago, right? They came to the show. I think a dude even gave him and his friends backstage passes, whatever. After that, that was it. You ain't never seen this motherfucker before. It's just that people embellish. Like they want to be tied to somebody so much they embellish, even if they shook hands or met or played basketball together. Oh nigga, he make it seem like they run ball every day. They embellish stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
And
know.
it's just weird because it's like knowing that situation and knowing where everybody comes from and their origins, it's like, wow.
So, do R. Kelly claim Will as a friend? Yeah, I said that. He ain't lying. Tomorrow's Leader Sports Net. You talking about Will ain't lying or I'm not lying? I guess they'll type back in a minute. Yeah, but back on the narrative, Primo, what you were saying about all these Yankee. Oh, thank you, Tomorrow Leader Sports Net. Yeah, but like you said, all these Yankee people, these Yankee defense, I mean, all the motions being filed, all the pills being used up, and all of that. And after a minute, appeals run out, whether people know it or not.
Yep.
The legal system. Once you've done something, you lost that appeal. You can't come back from that. That's why before you step in that courtroom, you got to have your shit airtight.
Right.
If not, you can be sitting there. A man be in his 70s when he come home.
Right.
Yeah, you got to be. It's
And
just and then
all behind bullshit.
yeah, this conspiracy that somebody trying to kill him, they trying to poison him. Aryan leader nation, Aryan guy trying to was supposed to do a hit on him and all of this and the
But they say
CEOs
they got
involved
the
and all that. Man,
but they say they got the information on that.
but the thing about it, man, that's all. Listen, the legal system ain't dumb.
Right.
Yeah, these people would the dudes come. You know how many motherfuckers trying to get out of jail? I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care whether you are Kelly. I don't give a fuck whether you whoever the Puffy, whoever the case may be. To the lowest no name nigga that sit in the law library every day in jail. You know how many niggas trying to come home? How many people trying to come home? The legal system ain't stupid. Ain't not dumb.
Well, I'm gonna say this: Rob got legal gripes. Anytime
Yeah, but
motherfuckers,
you can have legal gripes. But the thing about it is that you got legal gripes, but are those gripes factual? And do you have legal representation to file those grievances appropriately and prove beyond a reasonable doubt, prima facie evidence? I mean, evidence can stand on its face in a court of law to get your shit overturned. That's what Bill Cosby did. That's why Bill Cosby home. And he had way more women, which when Bill Cosby had 99 motherfuckers ready to take the stand against his ass.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and from what was seen and shown and all that, if it's presented right in court, but they got to get this man another trial.
Man, they ain't got to do shit.
Well,
if
you know what?
if you don't
That's
if you don't
true.
follow
That's
if you
true.
don't
That's
if you
true.
don't file a right motion that can stand on his face to make
That's true.
a judge convinced enough to say yes, there's legal prima facie evidence here for me to go ahead and allow this to come back to court to do this, to do that, whatever. Other than that, a judge ain't got to do shit.
Yeah, you right.
They listen. Who's advising him to hire these attorneys? Now, who knows?
I've been asking that from day goddamn one. Like, what the fuck really going on?
Yeah, I don't know what's going. Jeff, look at the show. You a fellow everything. Okay. Yeah. Miss
Hold up.
Beater,
Did I
like,
hear somebody say Tomorrow Leader Sports Network was in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, what up, bro? What's going on? Man, that nigga's a sports fanatic. Yo, when I say, listen, bro, that nigga on top of HBCU sports. I tell you that now. That's where I go get my HBCU news from.
Okay. Tomorrow Leader Sports and that.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just trying to keep showing the people in her chat some love. Appreciate you, bro.
But I think, see, I'm just gonna be honest, man. But I'm trying to say it without cutting into my commentary for this week. But I just don't. I don't like Bo Brinley. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just don't like the motherfucker, bro. And I'm just gonna be honest. It's a conflict of interest to me.
Yeah.
And because Daryl McDavid got something to do with this shit, and it's
So look,
conflict of interest, and it's an open.
did he represent Daryl?
Yeah,
So that's a conflict of interest right there because Daryl was a co-defendant.
and Daryl's son is on a law firm. And
Okay.
there's also still a open $1 million lawsuit from Daryl McDavid. That's why and I keep telling everybody, that's why they keep trying to track Keith down to get power of attorney, so that way Daryl can go ahead and manipulate shit and steal money again.
Yeah,
It's a brilliant idea.
It's not. Hey, who's that? McCain Cornell 2551. It ain't about being aggressive, bro. You can be aggressive as fuck if you want to. It's about facts, prima facie evidence, legal precedents. I mean everything. I mean it's about the legal system, man. I mean it's about evidence. It's about proof.
And I don't got no faith in the legal system, bro.
You know.
I'm gonna be honest. Anytime they let Tasha K get away with that shit, bro, no. Anytime they let Officer A get away with that shit, nah, and they gave her pension to retire, nah, she should be under the jail.
Yeah, it seems like it seems like whoever's getting his advice from is trying to keep him in prison. I don't think that his fucking legal team is the one that's keeping them in fucking jail. I mean, like your legal team, mount your defense. I mean, all of this stuff out here, that's out here. There's I like that word, Prima. That all the janky ass shit from the beginning.
Oh Lord!
I'm gonna tell you
Don't
something.
give her that leeway. Now she's gonna start talking about this shit.
Yeah.
Oh Lord!
Listen, let me tell you something. If Bill Cosby team had a hold of some of this stuff, and due to be home, we'd be on tour right now.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. Bill Cosby team was willing to tackle the case.
Yeah, but I mean, how would they?
Wait! Listen. Mm-hmm. Bill Cosby team was ready to tackle the case. Somehow or another, they end up talking to Don Russell, and they said, "Fuck no, we ain't dealing with this shit because it's janky as hell."
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. How they always run off the people that could have helped, like the Andrew Wyatts, and they end up with the Daryl Johnson. Like, what the fuck really going on?
Mm-hmm.
Man, give me Andrew Wyatts. Listen, and you end up with and you end up with a Bo Brinley, but you had motherfucking Doug Anton. Like, come on. Like,
and then you remember they was out here collecting money. They was collecting money, talking about they were trying to get Tom Messereau and shit.
Man, Tom Messereau told him, fuck no. Tom Messereau said, it's too many people talking. You can't win a case like that. Mm-hmm. Doug Anton said the same shit. There's too many people talking.
Yeah.
Everybody want to be the leader for Robert. No. But then, and you see it, oh man, look, and just tune in this week because I'm gonna just tune in this week. It's about to be real, man. Like, then you get Tricky Nikki, but I'm gonna wear her ass out. Now that I got the complete evidence, I'm gonna wear her ass out, bro. I never thought Nicole would have been doing some shit like this. But when I seen this evidence, I said, oh my God.
Dana, I told you them people's up here talking about they were trying to get $3 million to her. And then when Trevin came out and he got
sis, it's deeper than that.
They on some more shit.
Than that. Only thing I'm gonna say this. That Kershaw hearing would have listen. If Robert would have said, I want all details out from that Kershaw hearing, he would have went to jail then and stayed there. That's how bad it is. Mm-hmm. Like she played in everybody's face, and she played in Kip's face, and she played in my face. She played in everybody's face, and the whole time, her agenda was to fuck dude.
Mm. I mean, I heard that was what was going on, but that ain't part of my commentary.
Listen, I don't care. I'm gonna let it out this week. I don't care. I'm gonna let it out this week because right is right, wrong is wrong. Like I was in shock.
Mm-hmm. So my position, I just tried to keep it neutral. All I said was, I don't know what's going on in his mind as far as why he chose to proceed with her instead of whatever other options he could have chose. Why everybody always got
So
something to
watch
say.
this. So watch this. Stay tuned this week. I'm gonna reveal it all. Matter of fact, I'm kicking it off tomorrow. I'm telling you. You know how I normally don't go live on Mondays? Nope. I'm going live 5 days this week.
Hey, you going in, huh, Dana?
Yeah.
I got to.
Yeah, they should have knew something was wrong when she was sitting there doing the leg shaking shit.
He need to get smart with people who's beat it like Don Russell been around since the late 90s. He was not Miss. What's her name again? Miss who?
I'm about to go to sleep.
No, what's her name again? Miss. What's her name again?
I can't take this tonight.
Hold on. What's her name again?
I can't take this tonight.
Miss Battle. Gotta tell you something, sweetheart.
Lord,
Don Russell was not around in the late 90s and early in the 2000s as well. I know for a fact he used to stand around like security. Yeah, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No. This is crazy.
I'm going to bed. Good night. Lord, I can't take this no more, Lord.
Yeah, who's Lexington? Lexington Wren 3120. The leg shaking lawyer was up to no good. He talking about Nicole.
Right, Lex, bro.
Yeah.
Wait, hey Lex, wait till y'all hear this tomorrow, man.
How you gonna be a sex crime attorney? You done took your top off. You done put your dress. Girl, bye. Anybody gonna play with you?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it's a little worse than that. It's a little worse than that.
Hey, they should. Why they ain't call and report?
Just let it go. The man stated he wasn't around. Let it go. Shut the fuck up, man.
I told you I'm going to bed. I'm going to the chat. Good night, bro. Good night, sis. I'm going back in the chat. I can't take this tonight. Nope. Nope. This is going to be 5 days of this. No, I can't do it. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! People are misplacing people.
Hey, Joe Jenkins, man, I'm trying to explain something to Miss Battle. It's like trying to read a Battle.
No, oh god!
Hey, who this guy right here said, let it go. The man stated he wasn't around. Let it go. Shut the fuck up. Man, this sector OS crazy. What the?
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. I done came in here, man, and started all this trouble,
Man, I hadn't even got to that part yet, because that's what I was getting around to. This new audio that's floating around here, people talking about Nicole was sending pictures and doing all kind of shit.
Sharon exposed that ass. Willie Jones. It said that because. Okay, bye, Miss Battle. Have a good evening. We don't agree. I mean, ain't nobody here to agree with nobody. I mean, like I said, truth and facts is truth and facts.
Nicole, the attorney.
Yeah, that's right. Dana, bring your ass back in here. Nicole, wait, what? Wait, what? Be the light.
I don't even know what to say at this point because I've
Yeah,
tried to be as realistic as possible as to again these specific people. Some just ain't right about the timeline and storyline. So uh, it's just not much that I could put
yeah,
into it.
yeah. I told you we need to go live and talk about some of the good shit, the good times about touring, the good stories. That's what people really want to hear. I mean, we so busy talking about the negative about this man.
Right.
Like I give you 10 years of good shit, of accomplishments, of watching him work his work ethic. The songs, the iconic songs that he wrote while I was sitting right there at the board with him when he wrote them, that came off the top of his head, or when we was sitting in a hotel lobby or whatever, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Tell us,
Oh,
tell us the funniest thing you recall him doing while you was around.
uh, I seen him do some crazy shit. Like one time it was me and him. We were in the studio. It was Ian and Abel, both his engineers. It was me, him, Ian and Abel. He was in there. He was writing some songs for Justin Timberlake. Justin didn't even know about it. We was just writing them. We're going to send them over to Johnny Wright, who happened to be who Justin's manager at the time. He used to manage NSYNC as well, I think. I don't know. Quote me on that, or don't quote me on that. But anyway, um, it was about 10 o'clock on a Friday, and then it used to be this thing called Motown Cafe, and it was on Universal City Walk. And this when we were living in Orlando. And dude was like, "Man, I want to go somewhere. I want to do something." I was like, "Well, and it's just me and you. Like normally everybody be around us, you know what I'm saying? And it's just hanging out. It was just me, him. It was real funny." So I said, "All right, come on, let's go over the we go over the City Walk." So man, we go over the City Walk, and Rob get in there, and it's something, and it's Motown Cafe. It's not no tourist trap, meaning that they have something called First Friday. So the first Friday every month, that's where all the niggas, all the niggas, all the niggas show up. You know, you have that. They don't. They have black clubs, no hood clubs, but Motown Cafe was like a, upscale where black folks hung at on First Fridays, first Friday every month. So we go there. It was crowded in there. So we in there and robbing there drinking and getting buying drinks and all that shit. And this one about to get drunk. I'm talking about drunk. So I'm like, yo, how am I get this nigga back to the car? So I'm like, I was going to call somebody. I was going to call this dude, this Orange County sheriff that used to do security with me all the time. I used to hire him to do security to go out with me, to tell him to come have him come over. But I said nah. So I get him back to the car, and then while I'm in the car, the phone ringing. It's the editor, the guy that used to edit all of his videos. He said, "Kip, I'm in town." I said, "Nah, I didn't know you were in town." I said, "Where you at?" He said, "I'm at the studio. Rob is supposed to have a session with me tonight to edit this video." The video that we're editing was the Fiesta remix video with Jay-Z in it. You know that? Remember that one?
Hmm.
All right, so we I said, "Man, I don't think this gonna happen tonight." So I told Rob, I said, "Man, Cat we had a session." He's like, "Go to the session." So man, we in the session, and I remember giving dude like about 8 cups of black coffee. And I said, "I can't give you no more coffee because I don't want you to OD on no damn caffeine." You know what I'm saying? And he finally came around, man. And him and Cat, they stayed up to like 5 in the morning editing the video. They edited it, put it in the can, and sent it back. We leave that studio at 5 in the morning, go back to Intercontinental Studios, our studio. Rob wrote 2 more songs, and then after he wrote those 2 songs, we put that. I think we sent it to Peter, not Peter. I forgot the man's name to do the orchestral stuff. Oh man, I forgot it. We sent them to him. Those songs came back, and one of the songs that he wrote was for a movie soundtrack or something like that. And he went to bed. I went to sleep on the bus because the bus was parked outside the studio. He went to sleep on the bus, man, and I finally got a chance to go home. And when I went home and woke up, he woke me up and was like, "Man, come get me." I was like, "Bro, we just laid down." This dude, I drive all the way back up to Orlando because I was staying down in Kissimmee, which is down near Disney.
Mhm.
Drove all the way back up there, get him. I get him. We go get something to eat. After we get something to eat, he comes back to the studio, man, and write 5 more songs. So when I talk about like people talking about, oh yeah, he was this and man, that dude stayed in the studio. He worked. He played ball, and most of his meals, we didn't go out eating all the time. Most of the meals, he would have bought to him. You know what I'm saying? Like we had an agreement with what's that restaurant called Outback Steakhouse.
Mhm.
Every day they would fix us like the salmon dish that he liked from there. He would get the salmon, steamed broccoli, and these baked potatoes or whatever. They would fix like a whole bunch of this stuff, and they would get picked up the same time every single day. So he never went out. He was always in. So like I'm like, where's all this time for him to be doing all this shit, this crazy shit that people say that he said he did. That's why I was telling. I was there every day. I ain't seen none of that shit. All I seen
Right.
was the inside of a fucking studio and watch him write hit after hit, song after song. Artist after artist would get on that plane, land, come, get a song from him, and leave. Every other day, I was going to the airport to picking somebody up different. Every one of all of your favorite artists and stuff like that. And when we worked with like Celine Dion and people like that, we would get on a tour bus and we would, because Robert didn't fly. We would get on
Right.
the bus and we would go. We went all the way up to Canada one time, all the way across the country and up to Canada to work with her. And then came back down. We go drop down to L.A.
So
My
y'all crossed the big bridge.
yeah, uh huh,
Oh wow.
yeah, the one that like we would hit Canada from Detroit. We would drive Detroit and go across the bridge in Detroit, and then
Okay.
we would go across, come down all the way across to Vancouver, come down to Vancouver, down through Seattle, Washington, down and drop down to L.A. Do some work in LA, and from LA we'd drive all the way back down to Florida. So the man, that's all he was doing. Yeah, his pen game was a beast. But actually, his pen game was writing at the mic. He didn't write nothing down.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, he would go in like the Fiesta remix. I remember. I think I told this story before that we went in the studio. We were at the studio at the Chocolate Factory, and we were we were we were in there working, and then Steve Stout called me and was like, "Yo, we here." I said, "All right, y'all come on over." So the driver brought him and Jay Z. It was just him and Jay Z. No, Jay ain't had no security, nothing. Just him and Steve Stout. Jay came in the studio. Him and Rob chopped it up for about 5 minutes. Rob said, "Here go the track right here." Jay Z went in that motherfucker and go, yes, y'all, remix with the homies from the West Side. Game recognized games, 12 blah, blah, whatever his 16 and he spit or whatever. And Rob gave him a pound. They hugged, and Jay Z left. Jay Z was at that studio no longer than 45 minutes, and then Rob went in after him, and he wrote the remix to a Fiesta right off the top of his head, right after he listened to Jay Z do his first verse. After he did his verse, wrote the whole song, and that was about, I guess it was about. They did that whole remix in like about an hour and a half, and Ian and Abel was mixing it right after that.
Mm.
Chef, like our color will be free. He just needs to try and maintain his health, keep believing and manifest positive over his life. Yeah, those are good words to put into the universe. Cha cha.
So
But
they didn't record that song together. It was just like
oh
two.
no, no. Oh, so what happened is Jay Z was there. He came to Chicago. He flew to Chicago. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that he did his verse. We were in the room in the control room. Rob was in the booth. Jay Z was in the booth.
Okay.
Jay Z spit his verse, wrote it right off the top of his head. He ain't write no lyrics down or nothing. He wrote his verse. Him and Rob dapped up again. Like said, thank you, whatever. He blessed Rob. You know, I mean, how Hove flying to your crib, flying to Chicago, coming to your studio, coming in, blessing you with a hot 16 or 32, whatever he laid down. Pound, give you a pound, get back in the car, go back and get back on the plane and go back home. And then showing extra love when we went to go shoot the video in Miami, which took about 2 days. What happened was uh Jay Z showed up for that
Hmm.
because he's in the video as well. You everybody
Right.
know that.
Hmm.
So right after that, we shot that video. That same night, we moved to a different location and we shot the video for his song, Kelly Jigga Not Guilty. That song right there. So um Jay did they did part of it in New York with Hype Williams, and then the other director X, Little X. X was the producer. I mean the director of the Fiesta remix video. And so everything that Rob did, they look like they in the room together, but they not because Jay Z had left.
Hmm.
Rob, we went to another location and shot Rob's part. When Jay went home, Jay shot his part. But if you look at the video, it looked like they're in the same room together. It was
Right.
just a boardroom with a bunch of lawyers around, and they saying Kelly Jigga not
Hmm.
guilty.
Right.
That's the junk right there. Yeah, yeah. But it's stuff like that. People don't know that nobody has ever written for Rob since only one person wrote for Rob. You know, that was Kelly Price. Kelly Price is the only one that ever wrote, wrote music for him. Wrote that he sang, and there was one other a person from Detroit, Toy Purple Heart. She wrote that joint "I Wish." Rob just went on and he put his spin on it, but the original song was really written by Toy Purple Heart. Now you want to talk about a pen game? Her pen game is crazy. And other than that, he really ain't fuck with nobody when it came to that.
What's
Man,
funny about that is when I was looking up, like when I first started researching all of this stuff, I saw some civil lawsuits, and a couple people did like a RICO lawsuit, and they were claiming that they had wrote for certain songs and stuff that they weren't
no,
credited for. Yeah.
that's bullshit. That man ain't write nothing down. I was the only person that I know from '94, and I was a part of most of all of those studio sessions. That he don't write nothing down. He writes at the mic. Man, he sings right off the top of his head.
So being next to him, why do you? That's another burning question for me. In all this years, and him knowing the industry and how dirty it could be, why wouldn't he take initiative to try to learn how to like simply read and write and do the basic,
Yeah,
stuff for himself?
that's true. I mean, like, but you got to understand that people with gifts like that. I mean, like the fuck. I mean, like they know what they know. I mean, like they feel like they don't have to read or whatever. I mean, like when you that type of person in stature, you hire people, you trust people to take care of that part of your business, right? Um,
Hmm.
so you think Elon Musk, he's like the richest man in the world. You don't think he got a staff or people and team that 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 take care of things for him? He don't see everything that cross his desk. He don't really know.
Right.
I mean, like, he's bought in to make the ultimate final say so and decision. But I mean, like Rob, he hired people and he trusts people, and people took advantage of that trust. Especially when it came to taking care of his money, signing the
Mhm.
lawyers with contracts and things of that nature.
Right.
And it's just an unfortunate situation, man. It's just like, and if Rob was a white artist, this I don't think he would be in the situation he would be in financially. I'm not going to talk about the other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
white folks guilty of that shit too, probably more than us. But anyway, um,
Right.
uh, it's just the fact of the matter is that if he was a white artist, this wouldn't be an issue. You know,
Right.
you got to look at it. NSYNC, Justin Timberlake, all those people on Jive, they were on Jive with Rob. Jive had one of the hottest rosters at one time. They had the biggest boy band. They had Britney Spears. They had before she went to Atlantic. Um, they had uh, there was a couple other people, whatever, but they had Justin. I mean Justin Timberlake and them back in the 2000s. They was pretty big shit. And Jive had the number one artist in pop music, and they had the number one artist in R&B at the same time on the same label. I bet you Justin Timberlake ain't broke. I bet you NSYNC, them guys wasn't broke. But you get Rob, he got a fucked up record deal.
Right.
It always happened to the black artists, Salt and Pepper and them. They was the female artists that went, the group, they sold million records and all that, and then when they dug into their contract, they getting 16 cents off of each fucking album, split between three people.
Right.
Not 16 cents a piece, 16 cents to split between three people off of each album.
That was crazy.
Yeah, same thing with, it's been happening to us, historically. Black artists a bunch of black artists, they got horrible nightmare stories. Look at TLC. They had to fight. That little girl left out. She really, really fought. She fought for them to get their money. That lady Pebbles was stealing from them. I had them in a fucked up deal and
Right.
knew it. And wasn't she married to one of them dudes, LA or LA Reid or something like that? She was married to one of them. And they the president of the label that they were signed to.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. That's so conflict of interest. It's crazy.
Yep.
So it's like it's nightmare stories like that. I just know when the work that we was doing before he got arrested, and you look at with the RIAA, and you go in and you look at all of the album sales and the spends and the digital sales and all of that. He never got executive producer on any of his fucking records. Barry Hankerson did.
That's crazy.
But he paid for it though. He paid for it.
Right.
But why is his name? He executive produces all own shit.
Right.
It's like all that money we told him, man. It's like.
And then I saw that he had some even he had investors for his Trapped in the Closets saga, like all that.
Yeah,
it's crazy how much money he had generated.
Look on RIAA right now. Look at the Trapped in the Closet. Whatchamacallit. So, it's ridiculous. All the chapters going, when you get each chapter going gold or whatever. It's like you after you totaling everything up of what he's supposed to get just with a basic contract, not no negotiated numbers. He to the tune of $700 million. $700 million that man's supposed to have in his pocket. Or more, or better. You know what I'm saying? You want to get. So, Kip, do you think you want to get and you make Heat all album? I don't understand the question. Miss Shannon 48. I don't know what you're trying to ask.
As far as the recording that we're talking about with the inmate, I'm gonna just say no comment.
Right. Hey, Wendy Bryant, 8804. What's up? How you doing? Yeah, so they took. Do y'all believe foreign man that has been talking to Sharon Wilbers from prison about? No, we're not getting into no conspiracy shit. Let's keep talking about the good shit. Like I can tell you about how he came up with. He wrote "I Believe I Can Fly" in 5 minutes. Isn't that crazy? That's one of the most iconic songs.
Is ironic considering he don't fly. So you come up with a whole song about you believe you can fly and you don't want to fly.
Yeah. Do you believe Kelly will buy all album and make it on music again? I don't know. That remains to be seen. I really can't comment on. I can't really comment on the future with him in music or whatever. That man is incarcerated right now, and he's in federal prison. He's not in state prison, and federal time is hard time. The conditions you not that you get treated better or whatever, but It's just that prison is prison. I don't give a fuck where you at. Um,
Mhm.
I really can't comment on that too much because I've never been there, don't want to go, and ain't trying to go. But the thing about it is that until his situation is different than what it is now, then you can talk about music. And I think that you know hypothetically speaking, if he was to ever be released, before these 30 years or whatever, if something happens in court and I, I think he'll go back to music because the gift is the gift.
Mhm.
The gift is there. I mean, it's not going nowhere unless God take it from him. I mean, like he said, he gonna keep on doing these hits and keep on doing this music till God come here and get him up, take him up out of here.
Right.
So I mean, yes, I think he'll make music again one day if he get out of the situation he in. You know,
Yep.
um, I don't know how to how it will be received. I know how it will be received. People love him. People love his music. People love. You
Right.
can't deny that. You speak on
Right.
every song. Great songwriter, music producer do interviews about him. They said all the personal shit. That's the personal shit, but you cannot deny his music.
Right.
Yeah, right. You're right, Joe Jenkins. Radio ain't the same anymore without his music. That's true. But the thing about it, radio ain't radio no more. I don't even
Mhm.
fucking listen to radio. I don't know what
Yep.
demographic listen to radio anymore. I mean, with all these streaming platforms and all that shit, the music is different. How it's delivered, how it's packaged, how everything. You know, you got, you look at right now, Bad Bunny. I was reading something about him the other day. Do you know this man get ready to make history? Every song he went out, every song that he's put out, I think recently, is crazy. Where each song has gotten over a billion streams. A,
Mm.
a billion streams. That means people played that music a billion times. So that's different than somebody walking into uh, uh, where did we used to get CDs from? Circuit City and Best Buy and all them places
Yeah.
like that. Whatever record store, record shop you went into to buy your music or whatever, you buy CDs or cassette tape.
Right.
So imagine a billion people going into those point of sale places. It's different now. Everything is different now. It's
Right.
it's easier. Yeah. So you're right, Willie. That what is it? Sam Goody. You right. I remember Sam Goody. But you're right. The Whipples, they bought all of the radio stations and they created this one thing like iHeart Radio or whatever.
Mhm.
They own everybody. They own all the stations now. It's just like even with music touring. I mean, I'm glad the motherfuckers just got sued. But what's they called? Live Nation.
Yep.
A bunch of fucking culture vultures. That's what the fuck they are. And niggas, they first thing they do is they run to the motherfuckers like that to cut them a little check.
Yep.
How do you have every major fucking black artist in music? You know how many black promoters they are? The Black Promoters Association sued Live Nation. They were in on that lawsuit.
Hmm.
Yeah, they man, the they sued I forgot this promotion company. I forgot the name of it, but they sued a bunch of people, man, because they don't. What they do is they'll come. You don't have the rights to go negotiate with the artist because they're like they're like the promotion company, whatever. They'll come to your city, sell a date to you. They'll double the price. So let's say if Beyonce getting 200, this or she probably get $1 million a night, but let's say for all intents and purposes, an artist gets $250,000 for a show, right? They will come in and charge a black promoter 500,000. So a black promoter can sell a place out, they'll just break it easy. They won't even make no money off of it. And then if the show sell out and the second show is added, they do something called the 85-15 split. You get 15%, and then the artist and the agency they get the 85%. But you the one promoting the show and putting it together. It's no it's no it's no risk for them. It's all reward on their behalf. They would do black promoters like that.
Right.
The William Morris agencies and all these the famous artist agencies and the different agencies that used to book these artists. They screw the black promoters over. Ticketmaster
Yeah.
too. You're right. Yep, McCain. What was it? McCain, Cornell, 2551. You're right. Ticketmaster too. All Ticketmaster. I think Ticketmaster. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they sue Live Nation or something? I know it was a big thing with Live Nation. They just got fucked up in court just now.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing with mute R. Kelly. So y'all gonna come out here and financially strain this man
Yeah.
with the intent to bring up these charges, knowing he has to have funds to fight these charges. He
Right.
already got his financial shit going left. Like all that to me, it just seems so premeditated and
Is
ruthless. And
is
now people can sit here and justify it now. That's the only thing that frustrates me in people acting oblivious to how it took a lot to get this man where he's at.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
It took a lot.
you don't understand. Like before I joined him on tour in '94, right? I did his first major tour. That was the very necessary. No, it wasn't very necessary 12 play. It was this tour that we did with Salt and Peppers called the Very Necessary 12 play. That's what it was called, the Very Necessary 12 play.
Mm,
Uh, because it was the 12 play album. That was his new album that was just coming out. Um, before then, he was born into the '90s, and he was solidified. That solidified him. It wasn't what's the group he was in before? I'm blanking right now. The group Public Announcement.
mm,
R. Kelly and Public Announcement. Where it wasn't that he seen success until he did 12 play in that first tour. And from that point on, that propelled him into, I mean, to the icon he was with these musical tours and writing stuff like that. You know, I watched a white Jew promoter. His name was Jeff Sharp. He got in on Ground Zero with Rob back in 1994, and he did all of Rob's. And I said, and I watched him. He took care of Rob, but at the same time, I watched him make money off of him.
mm,
And I wasn't in a position to say nothing about it, but I know a couple dudes that was giving this promoter, giving him backroom money to do the show. He would sell the show, promise Rob a certain amount of money, and then turn around and resell the show right to one of these little black dope boys or something like that for double. Because the black
yeah,
dope boys, they don't care. They're not interested. All they interested in is trying to spend some money and say we did this or we did that or whatever. They ain't trying to be in the game like that,
right.
you know. So yeah, it's just crazy. Everything he did and everything that man went to and how he built himself up to who he was, and just how time and time and time after time after time after time, people exploited him in every situation, every monetary deal, just exploited him. The people who I knew Daryl was stealing from him back in. I found that out in 2000 when I was privy to work my way up and to the trust of being involved in certain conversations and all of that. You're right, McCain Con. They both got sued. Yep.
So do you think that's why he had a part in Barry Hankerson getting fired?
Yeah, you're gonna get Barry away from him. Barry stealing two people, thieves. They stealing who could steal the most money.
Right.
Somebody got fucking go. They were like, yo, both of us can't be stealing because fucking they gonna put us both in jail. So somebody had to go. And
Right,
whatever narrative got, whatever beef they had, him and uh, Barry had, see, people understand Barry Hankerson is from Detroit.
right.
Barry Hankerson is a motherfucking gangster.
Mm,
Old school, OG, triple OG gangster. He used to run around with that mayor from Detroit named Coleman Young, the dude from
mhm.
Detroit back in the day. Then you got to understand his wife. He was married to one of the most iconic black singers in the world, Gladys Knight.
Right. And speaking of, why wouldn't he want her to, facilitate helping Aaliyah instead of R. Kelly? Like that was another question. People was like,
Because I just think it's the timing. I mean, like the demographic. I mean, Leah was 15. I mean, like, listen, Gladys Knight is gonna go in the motherfucking studio and do what Rob did. She's not gonna
Mhm.
write age ain't nothing but a number.
Right.
She's not gonna write back and forth. She's not gonna do the fucking hits that Missy and Timberland did.
Right.
The fuck? She shit.
So
You know?
again, they knew who was gonna bring her career
Yeah.
up.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
He said, okay, yeah.
Dude blew her up. I mean, I'm not discounting the work that Missy and Timberland did uh with her when they when they worked with her, but it was good for that time and they did some good songs, but shit. Go back and listen to that motherfucking age ain't nothing but a number.
Right.
Listen to that motherfucking album. And listen to all of the music, all of the beats, all of the instruments, all of the background vocals and all that shit. Sparkle sung on it. She's the only motherfucker to sing background on Leah's album.
Right.
Yeah. Sparkle and Rob did all the ad libs and overdubs and all that. He did everything. But you go back and listen to the album right now. Told her how to sing the song, wrote the song, and told her how to sing it.
Okay. So that was no. Well, that'll X that question out.
That's
Is
it.
there any, to your knowledge, is there any artist that he refused to write for or work with?
Mm, I've never heard him. I've never heard him say, "No, I'm not working with that person." We was in New York one time, and Puffy found out we was there. And he was like, "Yo," because we had two sold out shows at Radio City Music Hall. Do you know he was the first R&B artist to do Radio City fucking Music Hall?
Mm-mm.
He was one of the first modern R&B artists to do Radio City Music Hall. Yes. No, but what you name one black fucking artist at that time in the 2000s that was doing radio music hall. You know who was one of the first R&B artists that his what's called did nobody who did fucking David Letterman. Everybody that came after him. He was doing shit. He was doing shit back in the day that nobody was doing. David Letterman, he sat on the couch and got interviewed. You know, Jay-Z did that after him. He made it cool for David Letterman to say, "Oh, we can put some niggas on here now."
Right.
You know,
Hmm.
this says this one page I won't say on the name. Keep asking who the king R&B. Anyone mentions Kel, she feel disgusted. I'm like, ask the damn question. With this fake ass outrage. Listen, people have their opinion. They can say whatever. They put up platforms. Either the internet. Don't fucking feed into it. You said it's a Instagram IG page. It's the internet.
Right.
Cha-cha. It demands a comprehensive understanding of the law. It should be put in his appeal. Yeah. Yep. None. It wasn't going down like that. That's right. Kel did perform at Radio City Music Hall. Remember that. Yep. Gemini. But look how long ago. Who was doing that? Mary J. Blige and all these people. They stopped booking fucking Radio City Music Hall because Radio Music Hall said, "Oh shit, the niggas doing this. Let's get some of
Mhm.
this little bit. That when this come to tap into our money, they'll forget your skin color for a minute when they tap into some money, making some money off of you. But
Yeah.
you name one R&B fucking show that you know of in this generation that did a full R&B concert, the music like he make, talking about shaking his dick and he feeling horny tonight in Radio City Music Hall. Who was doing that shit? Nobody. Two motherfucking sold out shows back to back, night after night. Nobody was doing that shit. Yup, none. It wasn't
Mhm.
going. That's right, Heather. That's right, EJ. You're right. None whatsoever. Nobody was doing that shit. Not a fucking soul.
So, what was your best memory touring with R. Kelly?
Uh, I think it was on the TP2.com tour. Um, I think when we were over in Europe. We if this was when 9/11 happened. Me and Robert, we were in Kensington. That's a part of it's a bougie upscale part of London, and we were staying at this hotel called the Metropolitan, a bougie ass upscale hotel. And so me and him that morning, I got up. We went. It was early. We went and did a radio interview, and the team was over there already. I brought them there. We came back to the hotel. We went. We got some coffee. Went upstairs. I went back to his room. We sitting there going. I'm going over his itinerary. Me, him, and Cheryl. Cheryl left. Me and him was sitting there. We was talking, and we were watching TV. And we looking at TV, and we see the planes flying to the motherfucking World Trade Center. I said, "What the fuck?" I said,
Whoa.
and we was not laughing. We was like, "Man, the motherfucking pilot must have been drunk or tried to commit suicide and kill everybody." And then a few minutes later, another plane crashed. I said, "Man, it's something going on." So the first thing we did when we tried to call home, Prima, we couldn't even call. The lines were dead in the United States. We couldn't call into the United States.
I'm stuck. So you were there. You saw when the planes hit the building.
Yeah, we weren't in New York. We were in London, England, and
I was
seeing
gonna
that
say, hold
we
on,
had to.
wait a minute.
No, we were watching it from the hotel room. We were in London, England. We were in the
Okay,
hotel
okay.
watching TV.
I misunderstood. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
you
yeah.
said like you was at the hotel there and
No,
you
oh fuck
seen. I'm
no.
like,
Oh
hold
no, no, no.
on, wait.
We were out of the country
Okay,
when this happened. I'm building up. I'm building
okay,
to what
okay.
was like one of my great, like one of the like most memorable moments. And
Gotcha.
then what happened was we called the team together and we went to the we called the embassy. The embassy said they don't know what's going on right now. Stay where you are. Stay inside. So we canceled. We canceled like all of our appearances, right? Because the European tour was going to start in a few days. So we rehearsed in Brussels already. So we didn't know whether or not the tour was going to go on. Rob got everybody together. We made a decision to go home. We want to come back home. Remember, they shut down all the airspace and all of that.
Hmm.
It was two flights that took place that when they shut down the airspace. The first flight, they allowed a medical flight go from Miami, Florida to Los Angeles to get a venom to to uh to pick up for a snake bite victim, and they flew it back to Miami. And the other one flight they allowed was to allow Bin Laden's family to be flown out the country. And that's factual. That's all factual. I'm not talking out my ass. It's a proof. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we couldn't get back into the country because we there's no flights and nothing like that. Then the embassy said the only way that you can fly back if the embassy had to vet it and there had to be a private charter. Well, we had like 50 people on tour with us, like the dancers, the band, the crew, the equipment. We had everything. So the PGA they had a golf tournament over in Europe, but they canceled it because of 9/11 and we were getting ready to cancel the tour. So a broker found us a plane to charter. It was a seven big plane. So much space we didn't need it. It was a 747 or something they found that we could charter it, and the charter was for I think it was like $150,000, and the PGA people were gonna use that plane to go back and we were going to split the cost with them. So it was going to cost 300,000 if they didn't do the other half with us. So Rob called everybody back and said, "We do know that our families are safe. We're learning more from the embassy." They said we're safer here in the UK than we are trying to get back to the United States right now because there's still a lot of unanswered questions. And then Rob said, "You know what? Fuck this. We're gonna march forward. We're gonna do our tour because we were gonna cancel the whole tour." And we toured that motherfucker. We toured that motherfucking United Kingdom. We were in fucking France. We were in all Germany and everywhere. So we were in Oberhausen, no Berlin, Germany. The show in Berlin. It was sold out. And Rob, for some reason, he was hoarse or whatever the case may be. His throat started fucking up on him. So he was trying to drink some Hennessy, to anesthetize his vocal cords or whatever. So it was fucked up. He said, "Man, I'm gonna have to cancel this show." And I
Right.
was like, "Bro," I was like, "You, we sold out." He said, "You want to do the lip sync shit?" He's like, "Nah, I'm not doing that shit." He's like, "When have you known me to do some shit like that?" So I'm just throwing shit out there right now. And so, um, when he turned around, we was at the door. He turned back around and said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do the show." And so when we turned back around and we got to right to the stage, it was a white guy. He was sitting there, he was crying. He had the American flag. He draped the American flag over Rob, and Rob and when he went up on stage and held that American flag out, those 60,000 motherfuckers in that stadium went ape shit for like about 5 minutes straight. And that just he came back. He said, "Man, I gotta do this." I never seen him power through a show like he did. He was fucked up after the show. I never seen him that fucked up after the show. He sang every song, every lyric, every note, everything. And we do an hour and 15, 20 minute show, hour and a half show. Hit after hit after hit, song after song after song. He not coming out there giving you no 45 minutes and take your goddamn $150 for your ticket and you going home after that. Dude is giving you a whole hour 30 straight, nothing but hits.
Mm.
And when he left out there, man, he had that flag draped around him, man. And it's a picture. Somebody took a picture of us walking out. He got the flag draped around him, and I got my arm around his back, and he got his arm on my shoulder, man. And it was like that's just like the most one of the most memorable memories that I have of touring with him, man. How that whole situation I just explained of everything that we was dealing with and everything was going on. But
Right.
it was it showed me it showed me a lot about him, about what we what his work ethic, man. I just never seen nobody work ethic like that. Just like I talk about us being in the studio working every night, every day, and that's why I'm like, what are these people talking about? Rob wasn't no party nigga. He ain't hanging no club. He ain't hanging with no other artists and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, we did some stuff industry, a little bit of industry stuff, but he was a mystery to everybody because he never went
Mhm.
around nobody.
Right.
We never worked with nobody. He worked with who he wanted to work with. And normally what we would do our work in the studio. We would send them. Back then it was called ISDN. You would send them the files through
Mhm.
ISDN. After you send them the files, they would do what they do and send it back to us. A lot of that work that got done with them other artists, we would go in the studio and write and do whatever, and Rob would send them the reference and have them do it. They weren't in the studio with him. Only person I seen Rob was in the studio with was Janet when we did that remix for her. Michael when we wrote the songs for him. Uh, Change Your Faces. Do I mind if I stroke you up?
Mhm.
And they were lucky because we already had two sessions. We had two rooms booked at the Hit Factory. They just happened to have a room booked their studio session, and Rob was doing it for Kenny Smooth. Kenny Smooth, that was
Right.
Kenny Smooth's group at the time. Kenny
Mhm.
Smooth knew us. Kenny Smooth was cool with us. That was our guy. And he was like, "Rob, show me some love." Rob was like, "I go down there right there." He hadn't even wrote the song. I remember because Mr. Lee was his engine. He was like a part engineer slash. He was the MPC guy. He did all of Rob's, the beats in the MPC and stuff like that. He was like an engineer and stuff with Rob. He worked with Rob on producing too. I'm not gonna say that because Mr. Lee was a beast, and Rob just wrote that song in like 2 minutes. Do you mind if I stroke you up? I don't mind, because they was laughing and shit, because it was sort of like a joke when I said I don't mind. He said,
Right.
he said put that shit on like TV, ready on my voice, like you talking over a walkie talkie
Yeah.
in the background or whatever. Yeah, and he went in and told him how to sing the shit. He did the background vocals on that song too himself, and that was all done at the Hit Factory. Yeah,
Right. That's kind of like what I picked up on when I used to hear people always say, "Well, why don't celebrities defend him, and why do they always say they didn't see this or that?" Well, if they weren't around him
no, they
like
weren't
that,
around.
even
They weren't
before
around
he
him.
they wouldn't see it, and who would want to speculate that all these people lying if they don't know the backstory? That's
Yeah,
why people like me wanted to do the research so that we can kind of understand why we don't believe these people and why more people should just speak on the good things that
yeah.
they know for a fact instead of letting these people cloud all the narratives with bullshit.
Remember when Puffy was first, when he was hot, when Bad Boy was the hottest thing out smoking?
Right.
So we were in Atlanta one time, and me and Rock, we were going into Phipps Plaza. That's across the street from Lennox. That's like the upscale mall from Lennox or whatever. So we going in, and I remember the Puffy's cousin or his bodyguard back then, or his number one guy name was Wolf, Big Wolf. I think Wolf got killed. I,
Mm-hmm.
the, yeah, Wolf got killed in Atlanta. But
Right.
anyway, Wolf was told, he said, "Yo, that got that nigga Kelly like that, right?" And Puff was like, "Hey, Rob, like that, right?" We was getting into the van, and Rob said, "Who the fuck is that?" I said, "Oh, that's Puffy." And then he said, "Man, tell them they come over here. I'm not going over there like that, right?" So I waved them over, and they came, and Rob met them halfway, right? And they talked or whatever. They cool. We exchanged numbers. Rob gave me my number, right? Because he still didn't trust nobody. Puffy
Mm-hmm.
called and put they was cool or whatever. So when we went to New York, we didn't tell Rob we was in New York. I'm circling back to when we had that show at Radio City Music Hall. We left Radio City Music Hall. We stayed at the Michelangelo. I'll never forget it. We coming, because we used to take limo. Remember limousines? I don't even fucking seen the limousine. I don't know how long.
Yeah.
The limo, we pulled in front of the Michelangelo. I get out, coming out the front door is Suge Knight, right? So Rob was still in the limo. So I'm walking in, and I was like, "What's up, Suge?" He was like, "Hey, Suge." I know Suge because I toured with MC Hammer back in 1989, and that was uh Suge was the he started off as Easy and them bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
NWA they opened up for Hammer back in the 80s. People don't even know that.
I didn't know that. Never knew that.
Yeah, and so Suge used to do security for them, and then from there he used to work for a promoter, a black promoter who's in the boxing now, PBC boxing or whatever I think it is. His name is Al Heyman. You ever heard anybody talk about Al Heyman with the boxing? Well, Al
Mm-mm.
Heyman. You ever heard of the Budweiser Superfest
Yeah.
back in the day? Al Heyman was the biggest black promoter back in the day. One of the biggest black promoters back in the day. He was in the black. He was in music. He wasn't in the boxing shit now. That's where he making the real money now in boxing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and I think was in charge of Floyd, like managing Floyd and charge of Floyd. He was Floyd's promoter. He was Tank Davis promoter. He's a whole bunch of guys promoter. You know what I'm saying? And
I wonder, is that the one they said was stealing?
who Al Heyman? No, Al Heyman ain't stealing nothing from
It wasn't
nobody.
him. Okay, it was
No,
one of them that was
no.
representing both of them.
Yeah. So anyway, that motherfucking we we leaving Radio City Music. I'm like Suge, what's up? So I knew Suge. Suge knew me or whatever. We knew each other. So we talking about. He said, "Who you here with?" Like that, right? All bodyguards know each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's. I'm talking about real bodyguard motherfuckers that got clients and that's been doing this shit because it's a mutual respect for we have for each other.
So you
So
know Gene,
Gene, who I don't know who the
Gene
fuck.
Deal, Gene Deal. That's
Yeah, yeah, I know him. I
oh,
mean,
okay.
I don't know him personally, but I know of him. He was out there with Puffy like that.
Yeah.
So all that shit Gene talking about on his videos that you see, Gene ain't is no cap with none of that shit he's saying. I
Mm,
I'm gonna put my reputation on line and stamp that shit. It ain't no
mm,
cap in his rap when he talking his shit.
mm.
Yeah, Gene did because he's somebody that was there, like
Mm-hmm.
I was there. Like he's speaking facts. He's speaking facts. He not pulling no shit out his ass because he was there.
Yeah.
He's just talking about a little bit more than I would talk about. I wouldn't say certain shit that he's saying because just out of that's who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That everything ain't for the public.
Right.
You know, that's why I would never write a book or nothing like that. You know, But anyway, back to what I was saying. So Suge was like, "Who you here with?" I was like, I'm here with R. Kelly," like that, right? He said, "Oh shit, you working with him now?" I said, "Yeah, I've been with him for a minute." He's like, "Oh, okay." He said, "Let me, well, I'm gonna holler at him or whatever." I was like, "All right, we ready?" So I'm gonna go back to the car. And of course, everybody didn't. They knew they were starting to know who Suge was, and you understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, that's when things went left over at Ruthless Records, and he took Dre and all. That's when they started Death Row.
Hmm.
So he was just up and coming, and getting the name that he had. He wasn't known as the Boogeyman yet. So I went back to the thing. I said, "Rob," I said, I said, "Are we good to go?" He was like, "All right." So I said, "Who that big nigga you was talking to?" I said, "That's Suge Knight." He was like, "Suge Knight." I said, "Yeah, he good." He said, "You know him?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "All right, okay." So I was like, "Yo, Rob the Suge this Rob." They dapped up, they talked or whatever. He's like, "Yo, we doing something here, whatever." Rob was like, "All right, just you got Kip number, hit us and we'll set it up when we come through." He was bullshitting them, you know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, we go in. So um we go in, and Puffy ring the phone, was like, "Yo, y'all niggas, y'all still here in New York?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yo, let me holler at dude." He said he wanted Rob to do something with him or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, "All right, okay." So Rob was like, "They didn't want me coming to his studio." I'm like, "Huh?" And because of what happened with Tupac and the history, all that shit with studios, I'm like, I said, "I don't know." I said, "Let me figure this shit out." Rob was like, "All right, figure it out. That's what I pay you for. Figure it out." So I got with his security, the dude Paul, Tone, and a guy named Hassan. That was Puffy's main security back then. So
Hmm.
what I did was I got in touch with them and told them where we were staying. They came, they picked us up. We, you know, we go down to the studio. Of course, we got the Joan on me. You know what I'm saying? And a couple other dudes that was with us, so they had their Jones on them. And so I called Tone. We used to work with Tone and Poke a lot. So I called Tone. I was like, "Tone, we headed to Daddy's house. That's Puffy Studio." And Tone was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, okay." He said, "What y'all working?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Come on, shoot on through. I feel a little bit more comfortable because I don't know none of these niggas down here. Only person I know is Wolf and Puff, and Wolf wasn't there that night. And of course, I knew who his security was. So we go in, and that's the night I go. We walk through the door, and we go in the studio. There's Big, C's, Puffy, all these niggas, everybody in there. So, niggas like, "This Chicago, nigga. We ain't, what I'm saying, what's up? What it do? What up? We in there, everybody meeting each other, whatever." So, uh, uh, the producer named Easy Mo B that did a lot of shit. Easy Mo B, I don't know if everybody know about him as a producer, but he did that song on Biggie's last album before Biggie died. That song, "I'm going back to
Hmm.
Cali." Remember that? And
Yeah.
he did the song with Bone Thugs and Harmony. It's Bone and Biggie. He did that joint with them, right? Easy Mo B did a lot of shit. So
Hmm.
we went over to the other room, and Easy Mo B was playing Rob a lot of shit, right? So we went back into the other room, and Rob was like, "All right, throw on some beats." So the engineer threw on a bunch of beats, and Rob was like, "I like that one right there." He said, "Keep that up right there." So Rob went in the booth or whatever. Puffy and Biggie and them was watching, and niggas just like, he just belted. He's like, "You must be used to me spending and all that sweet whining and dining. Well, I'm fucking you tonight." Them niggas, them niggas, them niggas lost their motherfucking mind. He Nigga ain't right shit. Went in there and he kept building off of that. He said, "I run that back, do this, double that, do this, He was in there putting this shit together. He was doing the ad libs or whatever. Then when he sang the hook, "Last stop the bullshit, baby. Let me take you to the spot, get you hot. Say you want to be with me, with B.I.G., Puff Daddy, R. Kelly, bring that ass to me, all that shit he was singing or whatever. I can't sing or whatever. But anyway, that motherfucker, when they laid that shit, that's the night, man. Puffy could not fucking believe it. That was just a brief insight. And Big was like, "Yo, this motherfucking nigga do this." I said, "Man, that nigga do it every motherfucker. He don't write nothing down." And so Biggie and them, they wrote their raps. We left after that, and we didn't hear the finished song. They didn't even send Rob the song when it was done. You know when we heard the song, Prima?
When?
When the shit got released on the radio.
That's crazy.
When it got released on the radio, and that's the first time. Uh, I mean, we worked in a studio with somebody that when I was with him the first time back in the day. But he didn't go. He didn't go nowhere. People came to him, like Ronald Isley and all of them, all that stuff from uh, that he did for Ronald, Mr. Biggs and all that stuff. Shantae
Hmm.
Moore, all her shit she did. They all came to the studio and worked with us.
So did they reach out to him or did he reach out to them?
No, they came to us. They
Okay.
can't. They came to us. Yeah, they reached out. They reached out to us. Yeah, he wasn't soliciting this stuff. The only person he hollered at we were at we had a sold out show at Madison Square Garden, and NSYNC was had sold out shows over at in New Jersey over at the where the New Jersey Nets play. Um, well, they were before they were the Brooklyn Nets, they were New Jersey Nets. They had a stadium over there, and NSYNC had a sold out show over there, and we had sold out show at Madison Square Garden. So we were both staying at the Trump, and Justin was on our floor. His room was right up the street from Rob, and we were coming out, and Justin was coming out. We was like, "Yo, what's up?" And then him and Justin, they was just kicking it, and we sat in the hallway. We was out in the hallway talking like 3 o'clock in the morning, just fucking around talking. We even made a run to White Castles. We got all these chicken burgers, all this shit, onion rings for all, and we sat in the floor right in the elevator, man. 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, just eating, talking shit or whatever. And that's how Rob and Justin Timberlake became cool. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And after that, we because they were based out of Orlando and we were living in Orlando at the same time, and that's when we went over to Johnny Wright's compound. He had a studio over there where they used to do all their shit at, and we went over there and we came back. Rob was like, "I'm gonna write that nigga a couple songs and shit," and that's how Justin didn't reach out to Rob or nothing. That's when Rob he would write songs for who he wanted to write songs for.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So did any artist turn down his music when he offered it?
What?
Or
What?
it's I've
I don't
heard
know.
before some people act like, nah, I didn't want no R. Kelly record
They
type
they
shit.
li- they line, and the truth ain't in them. That's all I want to say. They lying. That whoever's saying that they're lying, the truth ain't in them.
Right.
Go to that motherfucking RIAA and look at who man. This nigga, everything he touched. You see who bought Ronald Isley back tonight? Ronald Isley still touring to this
Hmm.
motherfucking day. You know who bought Charlie
Right.
Wilson back?
Yep.
Hey, what's that song here? How you doing? My name is
Yep.
Charlie. Last name
Hmm.
Wilson. I would like to take you on the. Rob wrote that motherfucking song.
Right.
Rob even singing backgrounds on that motherfucker.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes. You hear Michael Jackson saying, "You are not alone." Rob
Hmm.
singing backgrounds on that.
That's funny.
Janet
I've
Jackson
heard
ripped
him
him
and
off.
I've heard him give his impression on it, and he sounds just like him. So I was
You
like,
you
okay.
you know the song that Janet did that he remixed anytime in the
Mhm.
thunder and rain. Listen to the background vocals on that. You know who that is? That's Rob.
Oh wow,
Rob got the whole. He referenced the song. He sang it. She listened to it and she sang it just like he sang it. He just did the backgrounds. He wrote the song.
that's crazy.
See, I get to hear these songs before the other people are even on them.
Hmm.
Like the song I talk about. I can't think, babe. I can't
Yeah.
breathe, babe, without you in my life. We wrote that song for Tony Braxton.
Right.
L.A. Reid and them said couldn't use it right now, right? Rob was like, "Fuck it, give me my song back." He put it on his album. That song was hit number one on the hot Billboard 100 R&B charts. It stayed there for 14 fucking weeks. Guess who he dethroned? Guess who had the
Right.
record? Whitney Houston. Guess who dethroned Whitney Houston for the record? R. Kelly. 14 weeks at number one. Top 100 Billboard. Get the fuck
Wow.
out of here. They turned down the hit. I'll tell you, anybody said they ain't want a joint from him, they lying and the truth ain't in them.
You know what's crazy looking at all this hindsight? So, with all this being said and him not being credited properly, if they could try to wipe him out of history and now they done credited all his work to all these people, even though they sitting here was saying mute R. Kelly, which again, I just feel like was a financial attack on him. You
Yeah,
see how crazy all of it looks just looking at it
yeah,
as a whole?
exactly.
That's
But
my
Dana,
whole thing with the whole industry, just watching it play out. Like y'all just really don't see the bigger picture of what's going
yeah,
on.
and the thing about it, you don't hear nobody coming talking about the good shit. You don't hear
Right,
Charlie Wilson talking about the goodness.
right,
You don't hear Ronald Isley talking about the goodness. You don't hear
right.
nobody he produced for or whatever say, hey man. You don't hear Celine Dion. You don't hear what's the lady name? She one of the biggest pop artists out there. What's the crazy bitch name? Lady Gaga. You don't hear
Hmm.
nobody coming out and nobody he produced saying, man, look, this guy's a great guy. I never known, didn't see none of the crazy shit. That's all I want to say about him. Speaking my experience from him, he
Hmm.
wrote, we did good music together, we did good business together. And after that, I don't know anything after that.
Right.
I'm
You
not
know
his
why?
business
You know
person.
why that wasn't happening? Because then you got people talking about, well, you support this, you support
They
pedophilia.
scared
I'm
it. They
finna look
scared.
you up.
Yeah,
I'm
they
finna
scared the
dox
enemy.
your family. I'm finna
Yep.
harass you. That's the shit that was going on.
Yep. They scared. They get scared. They scared they don't want to be tied to nothing. And you know what? That's why I was talking about the one producer that used to work with us. That 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 just won a Grammy. You hear me keep saying that or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
And I told Dana, don't be saying nothing. Don't be giving up too much because people will tie his name to something and whatever. And
Hmm.
I don't want to fuck up what he got going on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
Shit, man, that motherfucker,
Hmm.
man. I'm not that I'm trying to what's call, but it's just I know the ramifications of saying certain stuff on this
Right.
internet will get you fucked up.
Yep.
They'll tie it to you.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Do you know what prompted him to write or to come up with the world's greatest song?
we did. He did that song for the the FIFA World Cup.
Hmm.
That was the theme song for the FIFA World Cup.
Okay.
The him and Alicia Keys performed that in South Africa at the FIFA World Cup for because I know black folks don't watch
Mm-mm.
European football.
Right.
European football is soccer.
Right.
I hate to sound condescending when I say that. I don't mean that, but niggas just don't. Niggas, we
No.
ain't. Yeah, but
Mm-mm.
anyway, that's like the World Cup is like the the competition for the world's cup. Who's the world's greatest football team, soccer team in the world? And like Brazil hosted it one year, Europe, South Africa, Africa. It's all over the world every year. And that year it was in South Africa. I mean,
Hmm.
in Africa and South Africa. And well, the video's on YouTube. I mean, just type in R. Kelly sings at the FIFA World Cup. Um,
Hmm.
uh, Alicia Keys performed at that song too. I mean, at that FIFA as well. She wrote a song. I mean, that's what it's for. That's the world's greatest. Like I was telling somebody, I'm on here battling about something about the song. I need an angel,
Hmm.
and I said that what happened was we wrote that song for that what's that movie, that war movie called Fourth of July. Remember that movie called Fourth of July?
I don't remember that.
Uh, let me Google it real quick. Let me tell you about it because it's a little story behind this movie. What's it called? Fourth of July? No, what's the
He
movie
said
called?
Independence Day.
Not Independence Day. It was the one where Pearl Harbor. That's what the name. That's what it was called. I'm calling it
Pearl
Fourth of
Harbor.
July. It got released on Fourth of July. I'll never forget that. Yeah, the Pearl Harbor movie. All right, there it is. Pearl Harbor. It was a Ben. Remember Ben Affleck was in it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um. Uh. That movie right there contacted us, and we submitted two songs. We did two songs. We need a song called. We wrote a song called "I Need an Angel," and we wrote another song called "A Soldier's Heart." Right?
Mm-hmm.
We were in what's that part of Miami? Coconut Grove. We were staying at the Ritz Carlton, and I got a call from Regina. Regina said they want you to call Jive. I called Janet Klein off, and Jive said, "Could you tell Rob that they didn't accept the songs?" And we just went and watched the movie. Not watched the movie. We watched the. You know how they send you like a before it's released to the public, or they sent us a trailer for it.
Uh-huh.
They hadn't even released the trailer to the public yet, and they didn't accept the songs to make the soundtrack for the movie or in the movie score. He was going for the entire score, but then we submitted the two songs. They didn't get accepted, and so the one song "I Need an Angel," he wound up giving that song to Ruben Studdard, and Ruben
Mm.
Studdard put that on his album. Man, somebody was saying, "Nah, he ain't write that song for Ruben." He didn't write the song for Ruben. He wrote it for the movie. It didn't fucking get accepted, so he gave it to Ruben.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Ruben's album. That's who it was for.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the other song, "A Soldier's Heart," he just did that released that on his own. Matter of fact, he performed that at the um what's that over in DC? Um at the memorial. That big tall thing over in DC. I'm from that fucking DC, and I don't even
Yeah,
fucking know.
don't get me lying.
It's the memorial on 4th of July. He sang "A Soldier's Heart." Um, if you look up, you can Google it. It's a, he did he put it out himself and shot a video to it. Yeah, yeah. But those are the two songs that were for um that movie that didn't make it. So yeah,
Yeah, World's
yeah. He
Greatest.
did.
That's one of my favorite songs right there.
Yeah. Somebody said Ron and Ernie actually spoke highly about Kelvin J Tap, saying how brilliant he is and giving him his flowers. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that he did that.
Right.
No, not um man. The R&B, yeah, that's true. You can hear Chris Brown will say the same shit. He tells Rob. He says, "Man, let me tell you something. That motherfucker Bow Wow. You listen to everybody that worked with this man. You know what Rob did for Bow Wow. You know that song called "I'm a Flirt."
Mm-hmm.
You know that his label didn't want him to do that, accept that song.
Right.
But Bow Wow wrote some parts to that song, and Rob said, "Let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the song back. I'm gonna use this shit on my. I'm gonna use this shit for my stuff. I'm gonna release it and make sure you get paid, and you got writers credit. So if you look on there, you see writers. It says C Moss. That's Chad Moss.
Mm-hmm.
That's Bow Wow.
Right.
He's still getting paid to this day for that motherfucker.
Right.
So that's what I'm talking about. It's all kind of contributions. I can go on and on all night about this shit. But Dana don't know we still going hard in the paint.
Oh, I can't wait to his live because it sounds like he brewing up some shit. He ain't
Mr.
been live all week either.
Yeah, Mr. Lieber 109. Jermaine Dupri wasn't hating on Rob. It was Bow Wow's label that didn't want him to release it. Because you know what they want to push? They want him to do that some pop record with you know who, because they were trying to push their little relationship at the time.
Yep.
It's the girl
And he
named
said that.
Sierra.
Yep.
Who
He said
who
that.
said that?
Bow Wow. He was talking about it in the interview.
Yeah.
They was wanting him to go in one direction, like
Yeah,
he
it
was
was the
all
label.
hard. Yeah.
I've been knew that. Because you know who it's my brother. My brother used to manage the producer that produced the music, Lil Ronnie. Lil Ronnie is the little nigga that Lil Ronnie, all that shit that you hear from what's her name? What's the little girl name that's hot from Memphis? What's that motherfucking little
Glorilla.
Glorilla? Yeah,
Mhm.
that's Lil Ronnie in there, man. All that shit. Them tracks you hear, the music, yeah,
Mhm.
that's Lil Ronnie. Now, Lil Ronnie did the music. He produced "I'm a Flirt." I mean, did the music on that. Rob wrote the song, and he gave Bow Wow "Grow the Classic." Yeah, "Glow,"
Mhm.
McConnell. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, man. It's like that boy tied to every man. Shit. Yeah, Jermaine is an actual. Not. I'm not gonna say he a fan of his, but Jermaine got nothing but respect for him. Nothing for Rob. Who said, "Yeah, Bow Wow spoke on that with Shannon Sharp." Bow Wow got
Yeah,
an
yeah,
interview with
that's
Shannon.
that's the one. That's the one I
Oh,
saw.
okay. I'm a Google that because I want to watch that. I haven't seen it.
And
Okay.
then, and I meant to say this when you were talking about public announcement. I saw an interview R. Kelly. He was basically saying they was his background dancers, like he was the
They
singer,
they
like
they was they was listen, Gary and Dre and all them niggas. They wasn't no motherfucking man. Look, okay, okay. You see who you see who you see who. So Rob was in a group called MGM, right?
hmm
And they performed on Natalie Cole's Big Brick, and they won 100,000, right? Right
right.
after that, the money got fucked up, or the people. It was an argument over the money, or some shit, or whatever the case may be.
hmm
Dude, dude broke out with the R. Kelly in public announcement. Yeah, and then after that, he does his first solo album, Born into the '90s, and then the next album was 12 Play. That's when I came to him. Yep, and we went right on to after that album was released. And we don't people don't know we used to open for Salt and Pepper. He was the opening act. By middle of the tour, he was closing because after he would come off stage, half the fucking arena would leave. They wouldn't even stay to see Salt and Pepper. So
Mm,
the Jewish promoter, I was talking about Jeff Sharp. He said, "Nah, fuck this." He went to Salt and Pepper's like, "Yo, he's headlining now," and they were like, "Cool, let's just keep getting the money." Salt and Pepper and them was real cool and real non-political about that. They was like, "Ah, fuck it, let's just keep getting the money. Let's just keep rolling." And it was a successful tour. Everybody got their money. Wasn't no egos or nothing involved.
right.
Yeah, Bow Wow said R. Kelly King on be on that interview. Yeah, I'm just reading. I like showing the chat a little love. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes we can get so engrossed in our conversations we forget all about them. Yeah, Salt and Pepper, McCann. They was cool because that's how it was. It wasn't no when you don't have no ego involved. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, what for? I mean, like, you still getting paid as a headliner. People still coming to see you. What you gonna bitch about because you're not closing? What? Get the fuck out of here. I'm getting a check every night. Let me go out and have fun, do what I do, entertain the people, and do whoever come after me, that's their business.
Right.
But they was very professional, man. Those girls, their management, everybody, man. They nothing but love on that whole tour. And this is one guy, man. I think it's Salt's husband. His name was Gavin. Man, he's still a husband to this day. They're still married to this day.
Mm,
But Gavin, I think Gavin was her boyfriend back then. But man, he's one of the most realest niggas I ever met, man. You know what I'm saying? Them girls were good girls. They wasn't out screwing nobody, messing around, all that drama and shit like that. Cause I remember, and then we went out. It was us, Salt and Pepper, and Heavy D. Heavy joined us. And when Heavy joined us, man, it was nothing but love, man. That's when music was music. That's when touring was touring. You know what I'm saying?
right.
That's when I had the most fun in the early days, man. All this old crazy janky ass shit. That's why I'm glad my time was my time. My season was my season. You know how God put you with somebody for a reason and a season.
Right.
You ain't hear him. Never hear him from '94 to 2004 until the feds came and got him. You ain't hear this nigga in no trouble, no fights, no nothing, no drama, no nothing. But all they was doing, that fucking Daryl McDavid now was stealing him. Stealing from him the first day from day one. And
Right.
I just wasn't involved in his business like that until like around 2000 2001. I was like, hey bro, these motherfuckers stealing.
Right.
Nah, I don't think they rock with each other like that. It's I wish R. Kelly and Avant did a song together. Nah, I think Avant. Me personally, I think he copped some of his style a little bit and musically, and I think that's because there used to be a bass player, and Joe was my bro. I got nothing but love for him, and he's a great producer, songwriter, everything, man. His name is Steve Huff. Steve is from Chicago, and he's a bass player. And Steve was one of R. Kelly's first bass players, and Steve was there from the beginning of '94, and Steve wound up when he left Rob, he went and worked with and produced Avant's first album. And isn't it ironic how that they sound real similar? Some of the music and the cadences and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I don't know if Rob was kind of soft. There was another nigga from Chicago that came up that was a bad nigga. That nigga Carl Thomas. Remember Carl Thomas?
Hmm. Yep.
I wish I never met at all, nigga. So I'm like,
Right.
yeah. So these niggas like they sort of they didn't come for Rob and ask him to help or nothing like that. They did their thing, and Rob was like, they in their lane, I'm in my lane. He wasn't like, yo, this Chicago, let's get together. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I'm yeah, Pamela Brown Adams
Do you
601.
think do you think that stirred a lot of animosity with some of those type of
Of,
characters that
of course, of
yeah,
course, of course. Like it made it seem like Rob, man, nigga ain't fucking with me. I'm
right.
running shy. I'm good. I'm on now. You know, like all
Hmm.
right, nigga, you on. Keep moving.
Right.
We got love. We respect you. We like your shit, but keep moving. I'm in my lane. You in your lane. If we link up and work,
Right.
if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. So, you know, the
Right.
powers that's big is gonna make it happen. And yeah, Tank is a real nigga. I like Tank. Tank. I saw Tank, and everybody will always be chasing the ghost of our cut because our guy's the king of R&B. Yeah, see Tank. See, let me tell you, Tank is very respected in the R&B. What's been called with his generation. Tank got a mean pen game too. Don't fuck
Hmm.
around with him now. That nigga right, this nigga that wrote for some of your most famous rappers and singers and shit too. Tank is a beast. Yeah, man. It's like what he did early. I was a part of that. I was with him when he's at the pinnacle of his career. And all that shit that happened after I left, it happened after I left. And I feel kind of sorry that I wasn't there because you're not, I know I wouldn't allow that shit come near him or around him. You know what I'm saying? But when they see a person like that, they attack that person to get that person out the way. You
Right.
know. So, but I don't give 25 fucks. Fuck them. You know, things played out the way they played out. You know, I came back home. You know, I raised my children, put my kids through both my children through college. You know, just living life, and I'm just like I moved on from that, and you know, I was willing back in 2018 or going into 2019. I linked back up with him. Actually, guess how I linked back up with him?
Yeah.
He was talking to one of the Olsen twins,
Yep. I remember that.
and the Olsen twins. He asked, "Did they have my number?" And they said,
Hmm.
"Yeah, we got Kip number." And they gave him my number, and they called me like 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, what's up, nigga? I said, man, I said, you got to be motherfucking shitting me. I said, get the fuck out of here. I said, matter of fact, let me hang up and call you back to make sure this shit real. And we start laughing or whatever. And we just start talking and kicking it. And one thing led to another. And, you know, I was like, yo, I'm coming to Chicago. I'm going to help you out. We're going to get this shit together and blah, blah, blah. Then the nigga get locked up and all this crazy shit. Then he come home and then you get bailed out or whatever. And then I'm like, bro, this shit getting hectic. You gotta get the fuck up out of there. He's like, yeah, I know. He said, when
Hmm.
you be here? I said, I'll be there Wednesday. I said, when we sit down and we eat and we go over this shit that I've been working on, you need to get up from the table. We need to get in the car. or a sprinter van or something, and we need to leave Chicago immediately.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, damn. I said, yeah, we need to go somewhere and we need to go to work. And then I think it was about 2 days before that. It was a Thursday when I talked to him. So I think it was a month. He got locked up on. They came and got him that Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday. They said he was walking through the lobby of the trunk when they swooped down on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
See,
yeah.
that right there is why I was sitting there looking at all this from the beginning. Like, wait a minute now. So the woman that testified in his first trial says that they was in communication. She reached out to you. All this shit start going left. She's always in the mix of all the shit going on with Dana. Like,
Hmm.
I can't make this shit up.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand how this. I mean, I don't know. I trusted the shit out that lady. I shouldn't have. Mm.
Like all of this shit crazy.
Yeah, because guess what? It's crazy because right after I did them things on interviews on her, a couple interviews on her thing and all that shit, that's when all the accusations about me started, and then you get locked up right after that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then she was on the internet talking about they cooperating with the feds. Hold on, wait a minute.
Who is? Who's
Cooperating.
they?
Jen, that's what she said.
Wow.
So what you mean
Maybe
y'all cooperating with the feds?
that's crazy, but you know what? I'm not gonna rule that out because they just started contacting me out of nowhere, just like talking, like just talking to me, and then next thing you know, right after that, a producer named Sudi and another producer, I forgot her name. They called me out of clear blue. That was the surviving producers.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Lifetime or whatever? Whatever. I don't know what channel it was. Bravo. I don't know what it
They
was.
had some company Bynum and Murray
Yeah,
or some shit like that.
yeah. They contacted me and wanted me to come on that thing. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
They said we're not offering no money. I said, get. I said I don't give a fuck if you offering $1 million. Ain't no way I'm gonna fucking come on there and talk
Right.
about
Meanwhile,
nothing.
they trying to convince the fans that it was in support of R. Kelly. I'm looking at it sideways, like, this look janky. Mm-mm.
That's yeah, no shit. That janky shit. Okay, surviving lies. Hey, that's what it was called. Uh, It said crazy. I just found R. Kelly for with MGM. Yeah, I told you he was with a group called MGM. I told
Yep.
y'all. And then he left. He did his own. Born to the '90s, and then 12 play, and that's when I first came to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, motherfucker don't know he was short before all of that shit. That nigga was singing. That nigga was homeless, sleeping on on his homeboy's couch, singing underneath the L. That nigga was making like $200 or $300 a day singing under the L. And then he
Right.
went up. He went out to L.A. Him and this guy named Brian Allen. Guess how they used to make their money? They used to go. Brian used to scope out these talent shows, and Rob would win the talent shows, and that's how they was making money. Well, one night they did a talent show, and Rob went off. He snapped. He snapped and had the whole place going crazy. Guess who was sitting in the audience?
Who?
Your boy Barry Hankerson came up to Rob after the thing, like, yeah, I'm so and so and so and so, and the rest is history. And Barry Hankerson took him to Jive, and that's how he got his record deal.
So I'm trying to make it make sense that what Johnny or Demetrius Smith, whatever he want to be called, what did he contribute to make him feel so goddamn entitled?
Not for him and Rob used to was like friend. You know, how you have a nigga from the hood, you was just there from day one,
Right.
and then when you get put on, of course you bring your nigga along with you. He made Demetrius his road manager. He wasn't qualified. That nigga probably never left fucking Chicago in his life. He was just a street nigga that didn't know shit. Johnny was cool when I first met him.
Mm-hmm.
When I first met him, Johnny was cool, and then he was stealing too.
Right.
All the motherfuckers were stealing.
Right.
Every last one of them. I'm like, God damn. Yeah. So and I guess he felt like, and no, Johnny was there through MGM. He was there from the early days when Rob was singing underneath the L. I mean, when I'm
Right.
talking about do the bad shit, when shit
Mm-hmm.
was fucked up,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you make it through that storm, and then you hit pay dirt. You know, he could have shut the fuck up and helped Rob, and been one of the. He probably could have wound up managing Rob, but an
Right.
old street janky ass street nigga. That's you know, I
That's
seen
that's all. That's all I was trying to comprehend
I
because
seen the bigger
it's
picture.
crazy.
A lot of them niggas around us wasn't on payroll. So you gotta understand that man ran a business.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to get no check, if you want to get no check back then, because they wasn't doing that direct deposit shit early back in 94, 95. We was getting
Right.
an actual paycheck every week. You get a paycheck and you get your per diem every week.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just tell the office, send my check to the crib. Don't even send this shit out to me. My check was going home to the crib.
Hmm.
My wife was took care of that, you know. And the per diem I just stuck in my pocket. And then of course I had his float money and his credit cards in my pocket. So I ain't one for shit, but I never stole shit. I never touched shit because I seen the bigger picture. And plus, that's just not me. I'm not taking nothing from nobody that's not mine. Trust me.
See, I ain't gonna lie. That's what made me kind of question these so-called settlements. Because Demetrius Smith is the one who got to claim the credit. He started all this with getting the first couple people they settlements, taking them to Susan Loggins. So, with that being said, if they could use these women to find out how to get them a check cut to them, that's what I felt like more so
Yeah,
was going on.
it was all a big scam.
Yeah, that's
It was all a big
embezzlement
scam.
all day.
hmm
Talking about
It's
some he settled with these women. So this is the history of bad acts that they want to refer to that still don't prove shit.
don't a damn thing. Don't prove a damn thing. So it says Matt McConnell 2551. I think he was better because of R fired him. Yeah, that's true. And then
But it's too personal with him. Like this
yeah.
man, he almost made it seem like well all R. Kelly got to do is talk to me and he might can help him out this situation. Too late now.
Bullshit.
You done
That's
went and
bullshit.
told these people
Didn't
all this bullshit. What the fuck
didn't
you
he
mean?
didn't he testify at a trial? Didn't he sit at one of the one
Yeah.
year? Yeah. So I'm like saying that's why everybody
His
was talking.
bribery charge went to R. Kelly. His
So
charge.
yeah. So the thing about it, I'm like saying to myself, everybody talking about, oh, Kip's supposed to be doing this. Kip, did you ever see me set my ass in the seat in the courtroom?
That's because they were
All
confusing.
all all
That's
the
where they had
paperwork,
all this confused because when it
all the
came to
paperwork.
Aaliyah, yeah, when it came to Aaliyah, he was getting charged for Demetrius saying he bribed a clerk to get her a certificate to get married. That's
Yeah.
where the charge came from. But they were trying to make it seem like you said this and you said that, all that other stupid ass shit.
Hey, bro. If I said that, or they just can't charge somebody for what I said. They got to bring me in court to corroborate that as a witness.
Right.
So I've never ever have you in any paperwork that you've seen? Have you ever seen my name any motherfucking way?
Nope.
Have you
Mm-mm.
ever seen all the trials and all the courtroom, all the shit? Have you ever seen me step into a courtroom any motherfucking way? No.
Mm-mm.
So I mean, like people are so damn fucking stupid, man. Yeah. And I'm the one that divulged the fact that they can't. The feds came and they subpoenaed me,
Right.
and I was in Chicago for 2 days. I mean, like that's public record. That's public knowledge because I made it public knowledge.
But that's the exact point. They was going around people fishing for information just to come out here and manipulate said information that wasn't helping the man they claim to be advocating for.
Right. And
That's what's crazy.
we've been on this motherfucker rolling. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. How many
Oh
people
wow.
still here with us? Couple people here
Yeah,
still
they
here.
dropping off. We at about
All right. Okay.
25 now.
Yeah, them motherfucker. I'm curious. It's why I'm saying all this shit I don't know about. Yep, that's true. Hey, Premier, I right. Good morning.
Good
Damn.
morning. Good
Hey,
morning.
hold on. These motherfuckers logging off and logging back on.
Yeah, so most of them gonna catch the replay per usual.
Yeah.
I get up
Uh,
late and do
yeah.
shit like this.
Yeah. I'm gonna drop off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do appreciate you stopping by,
Yeah,
though. I'll
yes,
just do what I intended to do on another day. I was gonna play
yeah.
Dana's live. He was reading the motion earlier last week, and I
Uh,
hadn't got around to talking about it on my channel yet.
Money caps 53.92. Okay, we didn't know you was here, player. You gotta jump in the chat. Let us know you here.
I do
Yeah.
appreciate
All
everybody
right.
that's in the chat, though.
I'm gonna tell Danny we went hard in the paint. He think he think he think I'm gonna join this live tomorrow. Hey man, I'm too fucking tired. I can't do it no more. I'm all tough now. I get one of these. You gotta catch me like every other week or every 2 weeks, 3 weeks a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why every blue moon I'm gonna hit you up.
Uh, who's that? Who's that? T is Blount 640. I'm here with you, Prima. All right, okay. Shout out to you. Good morning, love you guys. Miss Shannon, god damn, why y'all ain't in the bed? I love y'all. Sorry, I'm a pastor, but I love Prima. Okay, oh pastor, I wish you'd let me know you was here, Money Cats 53.92, because I would have chilled out on the profanity a little bit, show some respect. You know what I'm saying? Praise the Lord, pastor.
Hey, I didn't know you was no pastor either. You know, you got to look over me. No,
Yeah, yeah.
still working on it.
All right, sis, I'm gonna holler at you. All right, Chad, I'll holler at
All
y'all.
right. Thank you
All
for
right, okay.
stopping by.
All right.
Yeah. Again, I appreciate everybody that came through. Like I was saying, before we had started, I had intended to play this video here. I'll put it in the chat, but I'll play it the next time I go live, and I'll add the rest of my thoughts to where I was going with this live. I did want to spruce in some more relaxing conversation so we could take our mind off of the obvious fuckery surrounding this case, of course. I appreciate y'all. See y'all on the next one.